You're listening to iCannabisRadio.com.
Hey everyone, welcome to SexPot Radio. It is Tuesday, April 2nd here in the Mile High. And yeah, we're here to talk about some sex. You all are going to be listening to this recorded because we're doing this early in the afternoon because I'm going to a concert and that took priority today, I guess. I don't know. It happens. It happens. I'm joined here in the studio with Teresa and Barb of Passion Parties, and we're going to talk about lube today. Try to, help people out in a tight situation. See how that goes. I want to bring up a couple of events that are coming up here this next week. On Friday, if you're not aware, it is First Friday here in Denver, and Illusion Glass Galleries will be presenting a Shack Mansion costume extravaganza at 7 o'clock p.m. at Illusions, which is at 238 Broadway in Denver. I guess if you come in costume, you get free raffle tickets. There's live glass blowing, free beer for people 21 and up. It's a good event, great fun. I like going. I get sidetracked there, though. Like, I go there to hang out for, like, a minute. And, 4 hours later, I'm like, okay, now I need to tell everyone bye. Shit, man. I try to... There just ends up being so many events happening anymore, and, I try to make it to everything, and I feel like I'm being pulled 800 different directions, and people are like, why didn't you make it? And I'm like, sorry, I made it to 15 other places, okay? Right? I'm only one person. SexPot Radio actually may be doing a remote show this coming Friday at Herman's Hideaway. My good friends from No One Left Standing, Jimmy and Bryce and all of them will be playing with Sid Wilson from Slipknot. That's at Herman's Hideaway at 9 o'clock p.m. on Friday, April 5th. If you're not familiar with Herman's Hideaway, get familiar. They do a lot of good events. It's a great place to hang out. Our friend Dick Black does a lot of his comedy shows down there.
Awesome.
It's generally lots of fun. I don't know. There's just all kinds of crazy things always going on, and it just happens. So we'll see if that works out. We're waiting for permission from upper management now. Come on. They're like, you want to do a sex show in the back room? I'm like, it's not going to be like that. Come on. That's what we have a studio for. God. Everyone's always afraid. They're like, don't tie me up. Don't, what are you going to do to me when I get there? I'm like, it's okay. It's okay. It's not that kind of show. Dude, I seriously, I tied up a glass blower on my show one time. Her name is K-Sass. She's really cute. I have a crush on her. Anyway. And I tied her up on the show, and then all the other glass blowers refused to come on my show after that. And I was like, but you're not girls. It's all good. You'll be safe.
But you can't scare us away. Remember, I had you stuck in the sex swing on the door, and I'm back.
You had me hung up on the door. It's all good. It's hard to scare me. I was hanging from the door. There's people out in the hallway, checking it out through the window, too.
Big old ass shot right there.
I know. Yes. I love giving everyone a butt shot. It's all great. Okay. I'm today seems like the day to go to the doctor. I had a friend that was supposed to call in for the show today. She's like, dude, I have to go to the doctor. I'm like, dude, I was just there. Come on, you should have scheduled your appointment same time as mine. We could have just needed a girl day. What the fuck? But craziness. I love getting curveballs thrown at me through text in the middle of the show. It's awesome. We're also joined here in the studio with Tim Martin of John Doe Radio.
How's it going?
It's going. You look kind of short with that mic.
That's because bike.
Your chair, raise your chair up. That's what levers are for. Pull the
That's
lever,
because Bike
man.
is usually in this chair, and he's massive, a huge dude.
right? And he's
not
like
that big.
all sits back and chills. And,
Yeah, he's not that big, but I could fight him
yeah.
if he's listening. I got you. What up?
I don't think
Okay.
you want to do any of that
No,
come
I
at
don't.
me bro shit. Like, come on, man.
No, bike would hurt me.
I did order a pair of panties that say "Come at me, bro," though. Like, just because, like,
That's what I'm
it's
talking
been an
about.
ongoing thing lately with everyone. Fucking,
I fully understand that.
you
It's
know,
fine.
it's all good. It's all good. But John Doe Radio is back after
See.
a while of not being
Almost
around.
exactly a year.
1 year.
Yeah, it was almost exactly a year. to the
Almost.
date.
Like,
It was a little over a
You
year.
quit doing your show right after I started doing mine.
I think it was. I think maybe March 18th was like the last show that we did last year, and then we restarted like March 4th or something.
Something like that.
But yeah, I mean, it was about a year, so
It's been a year for everyone, and yeah.
it's been crazy
But you're
times.
back. So
Yes.
what's been going on John Doe Radio?
Well, we cover cannabis news and cannabis topics, and kind of get. I don't know if anybody's ever listened to radio. If they've listened to a Sports Zoo type show, that was about sports, but covered all sorts of different topics, daily topics. What was going on in your life. Still focused, on sports. Like we're focused on cannabis, but it's sort of like I guess like the carnival that's going on at Hood Lab here soon. You could call it the John Doe Radio Show. So, news, a big thing that we cover. Guests. This week we got Jim Freer on Wednesday, and he's a fantastic, knowledgeable guy that works in this just amazing chemist types. I'm not exactly sure what Jim does. Let's just say that.
Science stuff.
Bike's been doing a lot of our getting people on the show, a lot of our booking of guests. So some of the people I haven't been too familiar with till we get them on the show. And then afterwards you learn about them, and it's like an amazing story. So, but no, Robert Plattsburgh, we've had him on. He's served 30 years in prison, which is the longest incarcerated person in prison for cannabis. Danny Danko from High Times has been on. Growers, hash makers, glass artists. We had Case Ass on last week. You were talking about her a minute ago. We did not tie her up, though. Although
I heard there was an awkward situation where somebody may
yeah.
have blushed in the room.
Man, that's probably why I'm stumbling right now, because I'm slightly nervous. I'm probably already red because I'm nervous about being in here with you on your show, because I talk about your show on my show. Like, and I'm a serious prude compared to.
You talk about my show on your show?
I
What
do
the
talk
hell?
about your show all the time. I talk about it like every other day. I'm saying repeat. I think today I noticed that every day I said something. When I talk about your show, I'm like, I can't really talk about what they talk about on her show, because I would shut down.
That's the wonder of radio. You can talk about whatever you want to, but
No, I
sometimes you stumble over shit. Like,
I know, but put me in a situation on the topics that you guys have talked about, and I'm like, yeah, I can sit there and listen to it, and I'll be like, oh my god, but I could not operate on talking level. As decent as I am at radio, I mean, I would stumble over myself all day.
I think that's a compliment in a roundabout way.
in a roundabout, strange
Yeah, it is.
way.
Because, I mean, I wouldn't consider myself, like, necessarily prude or anything like that, but I guess slightly.
You know,
I could be slightly prude on the radio, but a freak in the bedroom.
we
That might
this
work.
was a bedroom at one time in porn
know, the
studio
porn studio.
days.
I know.
So see,
No, you do have me nervous, though. You do have me nervous.
I make everyone nervous. Dude.
Wait, what was it? I was saying something about. Oh yeah, the case ass situation that made me blush. Yeah, I was talking about her being attractive and a good glass blower, and just amazing, amazing
beating
artist.
people off.
Yeah, me. Art, glass art, Glass Tuesdays, which we talk about glass on Tuesdays. Today's Tuesday, and covered some of Mike's Bikes Millies today. And Glass Tuesdays can be quite the innuendo day. The glass blowing, talking about reamers. I mean, it's quite interesting. So
when you get into like bigger glass blowing, like with soft glass where they make goblets and that kind of stuff, you know, they have glory holes and all that shit too. So like,
Yeah,
it
the
can get
glory
kind of
hole.
dirty. Like
Rods.
most pipes look rather phallic. Like,
Dude,
you
it's
know,
crazy.
it's like
Yeah, so no, that was fun. We used to, we've had a ton of glass artists on before we took our break. And Glass Tuesdays were like one of the funnest days. Glass artists are fun.
It
I
is
asked
fun.
her if she had to beat off a lot of glass artists.
to get where she is today.
Almost, pretty much where I was rolling. I like trailed off when I started because I was like, oh, jeez, duh. And she immediately looked at me. She's like, finish that statement now. I'm like, oh crap, that's not what I meant. So that was funny.
The one thing that I really like about doing this show is that there's a lot of people that I've talked to throughout the years. I mean, especially on Facebook. Like, and I'm one of those people, like, if you shoot me a message on Facebook, like, I'll talk to you for, like, an hour, you know, whatever. Like, talk about whatever the fuck we talk about. And, like, I've had a few people that have never, like, talked to me in any kind of sexual way hit me up and be like, hey, like, my girlfriend's never in the mood. And I'm like, what do you want me to do about it?
Wait, you said that that's only happened a couple times?
Well, a lot of times.
Dude, I'm like that. I would be if I was a female on the internet, which I've never pictured that. See, you're gonna put myself in a weird
I'm
situation.
totally gonna love you.
Because I'm gonna be like trying to tippy toe everywhere and then just dig myself a massive more hole. If you listen to John Radio, you know that this would be a horrible show for me to be on because it would be probably a good show for me to be on because it'd entertain everybody with my ridiculous situations I put in. No, but what were you saying?
It's just like so many people, like even people that come from my hometown and stuff, have been hitting me up and they're like, "Oh, I don't know what to do. Like, can you give me advice?" Like one friend's like, they had a baby, and so his girlfriend has not entirely been in the mood lately. And he's like, what do I do? And I'm like, give her a break, dude. She just pushed the baby out like 3 weeks ago. Fuck off. Like, no, I wasn't like that. But, you know, I gave him some ideas. And then he, like, actually told me that he bought Lilo for his girlfriend. And I was like,
Nice.
good job. I'm so proud of you.
Wait, do I dare ask? What did you say?
What Lilo is?
Lilo?
Lilo is a toy.
Dear.
Lilo.
Got one.
You got.
Oh.
I
See, this
think
is what
I
I was
have
saying. Like,
Lilo
I was saying a
in
second
my
ago.
bag too.
Right?
I was saying a second ago.
Lilo is a brand.
Yes,
females
yes.
have to be harassed
But
on the internet. Man.
Lilo. This
Oh my
is
goodness.
Lilo.
Designer.
Holy cow!
64 different combinations.
Wait. What do you mean? 64 different.
And velvety to the touch.
So
touch it. You can touch it.
It looks different. Here, I don't know.
Okay, that's fine.
And then you have to
Touch it?
touch it to your
What?
nose.
Yeah, I tell everybody to kind of handshake it.
Oh
But-
my goodness!
Right.
Okay, so this is your speed right here, and then this changes your functions. So it can do magic.
I knew I was getting myself into trouble.
Somebody told
I
me you
don't-
could
I-
vacuum with that guy in, you know, because of the way it sits.
Right.
Nice. I haven't tried. Have
Touch
you
it
tried?
to your nose, like, for real.
Have you tried vacuuming with your
I
Lilo?
have
Touch it to my
not
nose.
tried vacuum.
Yeah,
Yes,
they
touch
say
it.
that right here.
It'll show you the sensitivity of what it would feel like for her.
Yes. Just seriously, like, touch it to your nose.
All right, take that camera off me. No,
Don't.
behind the microphone. All right, hold on.
Okay, now touch the other part.
Right here, right
Right,
down on the
right.
bottom portion.
Right there.
This is ridiculous.
That's what it would feel like if
it's
you
what
had
it
a
would
clip.
feel like.
I swear to God, I hope Mike is not watching this. This is
I hope
recorded.
he
This
is.
is horrible. All right, hold on.
Now change the
It's gonna make
speed.
me sneeze.
Yeah, change the
Yeah, that's
speed.
they
This
say a
is
sneeze
ridiculous.
is like an orgasm, right? So if it's making him
Right,
sneeze, that's
right.
what it would do for her.
Right.
I'm completely comfortable with my sexuality. That's why I'm doing this.
Good.
It's good.
Everyone should be.
All right, this looks just wrong. Jesus Christ. I hate you, Sam. Sam's lifting up the camera. I can do this. This is no problem.
You
This
got
Now
it.
put the
You
other
got
part.
It's a machine.
Now try
That one,
it.
right
You
there.
can do that.
My hand is numb.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous.
No, it's amazing.
All right. It's back and forth. That's ridiculous.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just Just destroy it.
Lilo is like the ultimate toy. Everyone should have one.
My nose feels weird now.
The feeling will come back.
It feels violated.
Pins and needles right now.
I knew coming on this show was going to be a bad idea.
And everybody's...
You walked in to chat with a bunch of girls. What do you expect?
I know.
See,
Hey, I'm in it for iCannabis Radio.
if you had sneezed,
Teen.
it would have been like a nosegasm over there.
I took it. You stopped me in the middle of I took it. I'm like there.
He took it.
I took it for the team is what I was going to say. And then I sort of realized that was not a good idea. And at the same time, I was like, oh, God, I'm screwed.
It's almost worse if you stopped right in the
I
middle.
know. I did.
Just go with it.
I did. Damn it.
You stop in the middle, you leave it to everyone's imagination.
It's just way too
and
open.
the imagination portions usually where it's like. Oh my god, I love this show.
You're killing me. See the difference between my show and your show is that I feel kind of like corralled, like we talk about cannabis.
You
and
feel cornered.
You have boundaries.
you have boundaries. Like I even get ticked off at bike sometimes, and they'd be like, "Dude, what are you?"
I've heard you tell him to be quiet
Stop
before.
it.
It's funny.
Oh, jeez, dude. So yeah, and your show just feels, it feels free.
It's totally free. Like we just kind of like to let.
If
everyone,
I did something like I just did on my show, I would probably never come back to it.
I'm gonna
so.
make it happen on
No,
your show.
it's not gonna
I'm
happen.
So gonna make this happen on
My
your
nose is
show.
still numb.
You just lost your guest spot.
Never. You're.
It's going to happen on your show.
You have to no. I would say that you'd have to be
I got Georgia.
frisked when you come in the studio from all devices or anything, but you would probably like it. So.
I like frisking. That's why I go through TSA once a day. No, I'm kidding.
Stop by the airport.
I'm just here to be felt up, people.
My nose is still tickling.
I'm not going anywhere.
All right. Yes, there's a difference between our shows. So.
I got Georgia to say vagina on her show recently
Oh yeah.
without even being on her show.
She'll talk about it. She has no problem talking about poo though.
No.
I always give her crap about that.
Poo seems to be a place where my show has gotten a lot lately, and I
goodness.
don't know why. Like,
I think in her situation, it's if you've had a kid, then
right?
it's more along the lines
I
of
mean, it's just
comfortability
like
level.
one day I was in the middle of the show and I'm like,
situation.
oh, I don't feel very good. Maybe I just need to poop. And like everyone just kind of looked at me like, I'm serious. Like,
Oh,
if you
that's
don't
sexy.
feel good, isn't that like the first thing you want to do?
right?
That is sexy.
It is straight up sexy right there. If your girlfriend cares enough to make sure that you've pooped lately, like that's sexy right there.
See, I'm not the host here. I can't tell anybody to stop.
There is no
Like,
stopping.
oh my goodness. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Just gonna sit here and nod.
Sex party. Give him Lilo back. Oh
That
my
thing's
God.
nuts. You know what though? When you walk into a store, like Pleasures or something like that,
It's
a sex
awkward.
store. Well, yeah, that is true too. But there's some other stores that, are more open and more lingerie. I think Pleasures is like one of those stores that separates everything out. Kind of, it's like upstairs they'll have.
It's like a
I don't know.
department store.
I'm like, where was I Friday?
Either way, that's not the point. When you walk into these stores, though, a lot of the times, the glass dildos will be like, by far, like have the best setup, and they'll be under like red and blue and green lights and be like $500 a piece or something like that. So,
Like Christmas ornaments.
Right.
so there is a place. Something like that shouldn't be allowed. It's
Right.
unfair. This is a guy's point of view.
A guy's point of
It could
view.
be
And why is it
intimidating.
not fair?
No, it's just
So confused.
It's like a jewelry store.
I know,
It's all
if-
sparkly
no,
and bright
if
and
there's
pretty.
if there's more of that, then why would there be a need for more of this?
You should come to a passion party, and we can explain it all to you. With
This
the
is a-
differences, everything.
No, I mean I understand the want for it, but it just put guys out of business.
No.
So,
No.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding with that. No, I'm just kidding with
Now
that.
you're getting tapped.
Playing in this stereotypical situation.
That's one of the
That'd be
awesome
fun.
things about Lilo is like it's got a good grip for either
Holy
person
cow.
to use
Either
it.
person.
Like
Right?
there's something to hang
Right?
on to. Like
This is that Reamers we were talking about when it comes to glass blowing, you know? These guys are like, what are they talking about? Reaming open a hole in glass
Yes,
blowing. There's
yes.
Reamers.
yes.
See, I threw you off there.
You did throw me off. Dude, like my last couple of shows, like they've managed to make me blush and I don't know how it's happened. I can't even remember what happened last week.
You?
Yes.
No way.
Dude, I couldn't even talk. I could not even talk. I had a room full of people and could not talk. I was like, what the fuck just happened?
Dude, Jeremy, man. I see. I'm like, man, I could not be in here all the time. I really couldn't.
Dude,
I
poor
probably could get used to
Jeremy.
it, but Jeremy knows what he's talking about too. 'Cause he'll give a lot of great advice, and I'm like,
I feel bad for Jeremy.
Sweet.
I think I scare him sometimes.
yeah. But he's the type of person that would probably be like, if you like, he'll push back though. You know, he'll be
Right.
raised to that level. You know, even if he's uncomfortable.
He's always up for a challenge, whether he's
Yes.
uncomfortable or not. Like, you know.
That's the Jeremy I know.
I gotta say, he puts up with a lot of shit. He really does. He really, really does. He's got a lot of patience.
The reward could be great in a
It could
situation.
be. It could be. But, you know, sometimes the destination to that reward sucks ass. Yeah.
Oh, you're so hard on yourself.
You know, I try not to be, but man, I wouldn't live with me. Let's just put it that way. Okay, like I would have kicked my ass to the curb a long time ago.
How you and Jeremy go together great. You guys make a great couple.
We do. He's very good to me. He's very, very, very good to me.
And he's got an awesome job, makes hash.
He does, and then I take that hash and I make things like peanut butter balls.
Holy cow!
I put up on Facebook last night, I was like asking people how strong they like their edibles to
Oh yeah, I
be.
saw that. I did.
And you know, like we got into this intense conversation and people are like, well, how strong do you make them? And I'm like, I make them in different strengths. Like that's not the point. I want to know like how strong you need
It's
it.
strange how many people like low potency.
I
Edibles don't affect me really too much at all.
Okay, here's the thing. A lot of people say that edibles don't affect them
They-
very well, but it's the difference between active THC and
Yeah.
not active THC.
It's a different high. I mean, you're still getting effects from it.
Totally.
I could tell when I crash out afterwards.
I made a huge mistake recently. I was making some edibles, and I don't smoke. I don't ingest cannabis in any form. And I was making some puppy chow that ended up being like 500 milligrams to like a half a cup of it. So like
Puppy chow is so
the
awesome.
bottom of a baggie, like a half a gram of hash in that.
Chex Mix
And I
all sorts of other
Chex
awesomeness.
Mix and deliciousness. And I like did one of these in the bowl. I'm like, ooh, chocolate. And I was like, oh, chocolate. Shit. Hash. I'm like, oh, it's okay. Like I just ate a little bit. I'll be all right. It'll be just fine. I'll be fine. This is 10:30 in the morning. 11:30. I'm like,
I was high the whole day.
I'm like, I'm kind of high. Like at 11:30, I'm like, oh shit, you know. And I'm like, I'm supposed to be going up to Fort Collins to go see Joel that day. We were supposed to go at noon, but the guys texted me. They're like, oh, we're not gonna go. Like it's gonna be closer to like 2:30, 3 o'clock before we make it to your house. I'm like, cool. That'll give me some time to not be high anymore. I'm like, 2:30 rolls around, and I get a text message from a good friend, Paul, and he says to me, he goes, I'm almost to your house. Jesse and Jonathan are with me. I text him back. I'm like, dude, this is going to sound really fucking stupid, but I licked the fucking bowl, and I am so fucking high right now. Like, I need you to come help me get my shit together. I'm sitting in the chair like this.
Damn.
The whole room is spinning. I'm like, fuck. What the hell am I going to do? Like, how am I going to go anywhere? This is not a good idea. I shouldn't be going anywhere like this. I'm like, I'm not driving. It'll be all right. He gets there, he knocks on the door. It like takes me at least a couple minutes to get to the door. I open the door, I can barely open my eyes. He's like, dude, you are fucking wrecked. And I was like, dude, I know. And I was like, and there's a container sitting there of hash containers, like a big container of little hash containers. There's probably like 60 of them in there. And he like looks and he's like, did you use all that? And I was like, yeah, man. I was like, I'm fucked right now. He's like, he gets my purse together for me, gets my coat, my shoes. Like, I mean, he took care of me. He got everything ready for me. And he's like, you ready to go? And I was like, okay. Like, I can do this. And, like, mind you, I have to go down a flight of stairs from my condo. I'm like, all right, I got this. And he's like, hey, at least you get to ride in Jesse's new car. I was like, sweet. Yay, new car. I'm too fucking high to care. Like, I, like, get in the car. I'm like, nice car, man. I'm, like, in the back seat, and they look at me, and they're like, dude, you're fucking high. I was like, dude, I haven't smoked in a year. Yeah, I'm high. Like, I'm really, really high right now. And so I'm sitting in the back seat, and this poor guy, Jonathan, like, I just met him because he was in town to, like, help pack up the shop and everything after we closed. And so this guy's, like, hung out with me all of, like, 2 hours total ever. And here I am just ripped in the back seat. So we get going, and, like, they're like, you gonna be all right? And I was like, dude, I don't think this is a good idea. Like, I really, like, I just keep getting higher, and it's, like, 3 o'clock in the afternoon now. I'm like, I don't know what to do. They're like, you'll be all right. Like, you'll start coming down. You gotta start coming down, right? I guess. Like, I've got to. Eventually, I'm, like, in the back seat with my head down between my legs, and, like, I'd brought a huge bag of edibles with me to give to a friend. And I, like, all of a sudden, I just, like, sit up, and I dump the bag out on the seat next to me, and Paul hands me a plastic bag. I throw it in the paper bag, and I just start chucking in the back seat. I was like, oh my God. I threw up for, like, 15 minutes.
What?
Dude, all I had taken in was water and milk the whole day, and that little bit of chocolate. I was so sick. Poor dude next to me is one of those people that gets sick if he sees somebody else get sick. I'm like, I am so sorry. I'm so sorry. So we get to Fort Collins. We pull into a gas station, like, throw everything away. It's all good. Like, I go into the gas station and get some water and some gum. I'm, like,
it's horrible.
Overly dehydrated. Like, I feel like shit. Come out to the car, and they look at me, and they're like, how do you feel now? And I was like, dude, let's go get some fucking lunch. Like, they're like, are you kidding? I'm like, dude, I'm starving. I'm starving. I was like, it was finally, like, my body had to get rid of it before I could start coming down. I was like, when we figured out how much I had eaten, just that small amount of chocolate that I'd eaten, it was so over-medicated, I ate about 300 milligrams of pure hash.
Oh, my God.
So, like, about a third of a gram. And I was like, really, honestly,
pretty
like,
high
you've
for
never smoked,
someone that
like,
hasn't smoked in a long time.
in a year, like,
yeah, that could be.
That's way too much.
Dude, I took, like, the first week we were doing the show here, I think it was like Wednesday or something. Like, we were 3 days in, and I hadn't smoked at all too much. I mean, I smoked, but not nearly as much. Like 2 hits a day maybe for like a month prior to that, and. Dude, we came back in here and Bike just, I mean, he takes some of the biggest hits I've ever seen anybody take. He's a big guy, takes massive hits. He'd easily kill, like, Sam's, like, shaking his head, heck yeah. He could easily take, like, a gram and, 2 dabs is like a normal, 2-3 dabs is like a normal dab for him. But anyway, he gave me 2 pretty big dabs. It wasn't as big as his. And, dude, for the first time ever, I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do the show. I'm happy. But I don't know if I can function right now.
I can do this.
I was so high, man. So I know exactly what you're saying. Just, I wish edibles did that to me.
Well, and see, that's the thing with edibles. It all kind of depends on how you make it. Like, if you decarboxylate, you're more likely to get that effect. For people that don't know what decarboxylation is, it's when you actually, like, activate the THC in it. So basically, like, what you can do is you can take hash and put it in the oven at 220 degrees for, like, 20 minutes until it stops bubbling, and it makes it an active THC, so your body is ready to accept the cannabinoids from it. Whereas when you're smoking, it's the applying the heat to the plant that actually, like, activates it. So people that just put raw plant into their food, it makes it a little different. Like, it doesn't work the same.
Nah. You have to eat a lot of it.
Yeah.
A lot.
I had a friend that got a Tootsie Roll the other day, and she said, oh, my God. She's like, I was thinking a little bit of hive. She goes, I couldn't even function.
Like
She goes, I don't know
Chiba Chew or
how I'm
something
up.
like
Chiba chews are like wicked.
But see, I can't. I'm not a bit. I mean, Chiba Chews are great, and I hear a lot of people.
A lot of people
compliment
really
them,
like them.
But I don't like the taste of.
It's the taste
of hash, or marijuana. Like just the raw taste of it. To me, it's. Just
and that's
doesn't-
where
and
a lot
is so
of
hard to hide it.
that's where a lot of my friends have gotten really screwed up with the edibles that I've been sharing with
You
them.
make really good chocolate.
It's because like I do chocolates, I do Kit Kat bars, Twix bars, that kind of stuff. But I also do like I've been making some dank banana muffins.
banana muffins. I'm so hungry right now.
And here's the issue with them. Like I was making them in loaves. I was making banana bread loaves, and I've discovered a way to hide the hash taste. Okay?
That's cool.
So basically, I would make a loaf of bread, and it would have 2,400 milligrams in it. So about 2.5 grams of hash in one loaf of bread. And so Jeremy like went and ate a piece one day, and he's like, he couldn't taste the hash. It's a combination of buttermilk and lemon juice and banana extract that really hides the spicy flavor of the hash. And he didn't taste it, so he went and cut off another bigger piece because he thought he got a bunk one. And I was like, dude, I make sure it's mixed in well. Like, I use coconut oil. I make sure it's mixed very well into the product that I'm making. And, dude, he was, like, drooling on himself.
I don't want to taste. I don't want to taste anything.
He's like, dude, it was hot. I'm high. I'm like, he's like, fuck that bread. I'm like, I'm sorry, man. Like,
edibles don't do that to
my
me.
friend Phil, like, I gave him a bag that had 6 200 milligram muffins in it. And I actually, like, took some over to Swagger recently, and they confiscated them at the door and, like, would let me give them to the workers until after their shift. Because Phil had ate a couple on his way. He was on his way out to go eat at Texas Roadhouse or somewhere, or whatever. He was going to go have a steak. So he ate, like, 2 or 3 of the muffins on the way there. And he, like, got there, you know, and he's, like, getting kind of high. He, like, orders his food, whatever. And he had the fucking muffins in his pocket, and he pulls out another one, eats it in the restaurant, whatever. And after he eats this big fatty steak, which helps you absorb the THC, he ate the rest of the muffins. So he, like, consumed, like, 1,200 milligrams of hash in, like, a half an hour. And he ended up crashing at Swagger for a while.
Dude, yeah.
And they're like, dude, he was, like, crashed out, drooling on himself. Like, they can't have these before their shift is done. Like, I need them to work. I'm like, okay, I'm sorry, I just brought muffins. What you got against my muffin?
That would be awesome.
Poor guys.
I took like 2 cookies that were like 1,000 milligrams each. It was horrible. Like they tasted horrible. But even then, man, I mean, I got pretty baked, but it more than anything like knocked me down afterwards. You know, you could tell I was high because I ended up wanting to like crash, fall asleep.
Well, and I can't remember right now, but what is the chemical in cannabis that like if you use full plant matter, it'll like make you super sick? I know when you make butter, you take your trim and you put it in with your butter, and I always put in water. And what you'll see is like the THC binds to the fat in the butter, and that'll float on top of the water. And then down in the bottom, like everything will turn green from like the chlorophyll, all that stuff. It'll get super, super dark green. But there's a chemical in the plant that actually like will upset your stomach if you ingest too much of it. I had somebody make me cookies when I first moved here, and they were super strong. I only ate one, and I just remember getting so sick and, like, sitting on the floors, like, rocking back and forth. I'm like, dude, I don't even want to get high again, ever. I never want to be high again. Never, never, never.
Badly made brownies, man. That's what ruined, like, brownies forever for me.
It's people that just put trim straight into it is
I
what
can't even eat a
happens.
brownie
Like,
to this day. Like, back in high school,
Really?
right out of high school, I think we made a horrible batch of brownies and just threw a bunch of, you know, swag in there and then ate them. And, like, you had to, like, choke them down. Number one, I'm not a cook, and I can't bake at all. At all. So, yeah, dude, I can't. I still to this day, I'm, like, usually pass on brownies because it's ruined it. It ruined it.
That sucks.
This is crazy, but it did. It ruined it.
Yeah, I
Those
don't know.
cookies ruined it for a while too, for cookies, but never will cookies. They will always prevail.
Dude, the best cookies are those Loft House sugar cookies. Those really smushy ones. Those are my favorite.
I don't need anybody's edibles, man. Like, you're probably one of a select few that, that I've had that taste really good and that, I might eat. But, since I don't feel like they affect me that much, which I don't feel like it's like that important of me to have something that tastes bad. So I just don't like edibles that much.
Yeah, it's definitely about the taste. Like, man, honestly, I don't see the point in eating an edible if it tastes like shit. Like,
if it gets you really high, maybe
you can get Rick Simpson oil in capsules and swallow some capsules and get the same effect. Like, you know what
and
I
they
mean?
usually give you like indigestion too. Like, coconut oil type
fiber.
stuff. Well, I know, but like it's just there's something with like the hash oil or whatever it is that when it gets in your stomach, for some reason it just gives me indigestion. I get like hash indigestion, hash burps.
Yeah, it's like that herbal.
Awesome.
It's like that herbal burp that you get from any herbal supplement.
Yeah, dude.
Like you just kind of get that.
And herbs are like, and you know what you're saying about like sometimes you get sick with too much cannabis. Like I don't know what it is in there, the chlorophyll. I don't know. But natural herbs a lot of the time don't settle well for my stomach, So
right.
I don't know. So yeah, I'm not a big fan of the cannabis oil. If it's super, super, super strong and potent, CBD oil, I wouldn't mind taking like a capsule of CBD every day.
Right.
That would be nice every morning and then night.
Absolutely. We're gonna cut to commercial here real quick, and when we come back, we're gonna talk about lube and other stuff.
The law offices of Edson, Maiden, and Matz provide criminal defense, medical marijuana defense, and advice about setting up and running medical marijuana centers, optional premises cultivation operations, and infused product manufacturing businesses throughout Colorado. With offices in Denver and Aspen, we can offer assistance throughout the entire state of Colorado. Give us a call at 303-831-8188. That's 303-831-8188. Or visit us online at warrenedson.com.
Are you a runner? Are you a runner who supports marijuana legalization? Run on Grass is a group of athletes actively seeking to change our marijuana laws. We speak the truth about cannabis, bringing the message through our feet to new ears. Check out runongrass.com to find out more about us, our events, and how to join up or how to sponsor a runner. If you're in the Denver area, please join us for runs or start a group in your area. Running not your thing? Any sport can do it on grass. Runongrass.com.
Dixie Elixirs, the patient's choice for alternative medical marijuana treatment, brings you Dixie Botanicals all-natural topical therapy, including massage oil, pain relief salve, and our newest product, Dixie Botanicals Pain Relief Lotion. This all-natural lotion pairs beautifully with Dixie Botanicals bath salt for a deeply relaxing experience with no psychotropic effect. Like us on Facebook, Dixie Elixirs, or join us at www.dixieelixirs.com.
Independent Records and Videos has been your locally owned and operated choice for music, movies, and lifestyle accessories since 1978. Independent Records and Videos has 7 locations from Denver to Colorado Springs to Pueblo to serve your entertainment needs. Whether it's vinyl, CDs, DVDs, books, smoking accessories, or hundreds of other fun and fanciful items, Independent is ready and waiting to make your dreams come true. We are always buying, selling, and trading vinyl, CDs, books, and DVDs, so sell yours and buy ours. Independent Records and Videos, your entertainment headquarters. Check us out at beindependent.com or on Facebook.
Indispensary in Colorado Springs is proud to support Overgrow the Radio. With 2 locations in Colorado Springs, Indispensary invites you to discover what true selection and values feel like. Always featuring an incredible array of Stanley Brothers medicine as well as full line of edible and infused products. Indispensary is open from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. 7 days a week, 364 days a year. You owe it to your health and well-being to discover Indispensary. Westside location at 3044 West Colorado and Eastside location at 3031 East Platte in Colorado Springs. Indispensary is your destination for indispensable quality medicine.
Welcome back. You're listening to SexPot Radio. Yep. we're talking about getting a toy that was a different color than I expected. So I ordered my products, and my address on my bank account is my boyfriend's parents' address. And so my entire passion party kit went to my boyfriend's parents' house. I was like freaking out because like it said that it had been left on the front porch. I'm like, seriously? Like they left it on the front porch at my condo? I was like, fuck, where'd it go? Like I have all these like, teenagers, like kids living around me. I was like, fuck, where did it go? And so anyway, I get to checking and I like check the shipping info and I was like, oh shit. I was like, Jeremy, it got sent to your parents' house. Like they wouldn't have opened it, would have they? And he's like, no, I don't think so. So he's like, well, should we go get it now or you want to wait until tomorrow? Dude, let's go get it right now. Like his sister's like 21, 22. And I get there and she's like, yeah, I like thought a package came for me. And she's like, I just about opened it. And I just looked at her. I was like, well, it could have been uncomfortable for both of us now then, couldn't have been. I was like, oh my God, complete panic. I was like, whoops.
But it was all unopened.
It was all unopened. It was good. It was all good. I was like, fuck.
And what did you tell them was in the package?
I didn't tell them anything.
Okay.
They didn't need to know. Like, his parents are awesome. Like, I'm sure they wouldn't have even, like, thought twice about it. They know I'm a weirdo. I lived there for, like, 6 months. So, like, they already know. But, like, his parents are super awesome. Like, he was raised Catholic. His parents are Catholic, but they're not. His other relatives are very strict Catholic, but his parents are super laid back, like, you know, whatever you believe, what you believe, and whatever. And I don't know, they're just super awesome. She works at the high school, does attendance. Like, his dad sells pipe, like, for the oil field companies. Like, I don't know, they're just super cool couple and, like, fun to hang out with. Their sister's a lesbian. I scare her a little bit. So I've been told by his mother. Like,
you scare her?
I do. I scare his sister. I feel bad. Like, I don't know why I'm so intimidating.
Because you're Jenny.
Yes.
Jenny Cush.
Yes. Yes, I am. Yeah, like, I don't know. Like, they were gone on vacation. We were going to go over and do laundry. And, like, she asked her parents if we could, like, not come while she was home. Like, because I intimidate her a bit.
Wow, you are scary.
I was like, wow, like, just because you're lesbian doesn't mean I want some. Like,
holy cow. That's what we're talking about.
She's just a kid, for Christ's sake. Like, old enough to be your mom. Not quite, but close.
I'm trying not to picture anything. Nothing. See, I shocked you there, too.
Oh, my God.
Speechless.
Dude, I just about, like, went and kicked the shit out of somebody while I was up in Montana, like, visiting my kids. Like, I posted up a picture of myself and my daughter in her prom dress, and, like, one of my old classmates, like, hits me up. He's like, so, how old's your kid now? And I was like, fuck you, dude. Fuck you. Like, don't even think about it. I know where you live. Like, don't think I'm afraid to knock on your door. Like, well, she's like 18, right? No, she's not. She's 15. Like, she'll be 16 in a couple weeks. Now she's 16, but still not old enough.
But still just 16.
It was kind of a weird experience, like, visiting up there because, like, all of my kids' friends, like, know my parents, you know, as the parental figures to my kids. They don't really know me, and I have a very different parenting technique than my own parents do. I'm very open with my kids. Like, if they ask me, like, what'll happen if I do this? Like, I'm very blunt to the point. Like, my daughter's like, I want to get my ears pierced. And I'm like, well, it's going to freaking hurt, and you're going to cry, okay? And they're like, oh, we have to go to the doctor for shots. I'm like, it's going to hurt, and you're going to cry, but we're going to have ice cream when you're done, okay? Like, so it'll be okay. Like, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to be, like, whatever.
So lying's not okay, but bribing is?
Yes.
Okay, I get it.
I'm going to tell you that you're going to cry, and then I'm going to take you for ice cream, but you're going to get your shot, and it's going to be all good. Like,
got it.
I've gone through this a lot. Like, my 2 middle kids have ADD, and, like, they were on meds that were very damaging to the liver. So, like, we had to go in once a month to get blood work done and stuff. Like, I had a nurse send me in with both of them once. I was like, this is not going to work. Like, you can't send me in there with both of them. One's 9, one's 10. Like, one's going to see the other one get hurt. They're going to freak out. Like, it's not going to be good. And the nurse sent me in there anyway. And then I had a lab tech actually tell my child, or the phlebotomist told my kids, you know your mom can't make you do this. It's against the law for her to force you. She was fired the next day. I was like so irate. I was like,
Absolutely.
Number one, you put me in the room with them together and then you tell them that I'm breaking the law. Like,
right?
Screw you. Like, good
She's
luck finding a new job.
She's not the one who has to live with them.
Right, exactly. So anyway, while I was up there visiting my kids, like my daughter has this boyfriend, like he's super nice, like he treats her so well, very, very nice kid. He has piercings and stuff, and my son's friend comes over, and he's talking about piercings because he saw that my tongue was pierced, and he goes, you know what my uncle says that's for? And I was like, no, what's your uncle say that's for? And he's like, well, I'm not going to tell you. I was like, well, good for you. So he, like, whispers it to my daughter's boyfriend. And my daughter's boyfriend, who's 16, like, looks at me and goes, his uncle says that that's for sucking dick. And I, like, looked at him and I was like, does your uncle have his tongue pierced? And he's like, well, yeah. And I go, you're questioning your uncle right now, aren't you? And, like, this kid, like, got up and left. Like, he would not come back the rest of the time I was there. I'm like,
That's awesome.
I'm like, yeah, I showed you little shit. My daughter's like, I can't believe you just did that. And I was like, hey, he started it. I was like, you know he's asking his uncle what he's into now, right? It was bad. It was really bad. Like, I could hear this kid, like, whispering about me out in the other room for a while, though, to my son, and I'm like, fucking little brat. Like, what the hell, dude? Like, he's like, my son's like, yeah, he thinks you're weird because you have tattoos and stuff. And I was like, yeah, well, I think he's weird, too. Like, he's kind of a little creeper kid, okay? He's, like, out there whispering to you about your mom, okay? Like, and what's he looking at me for anyway? It's weird. It's weird. Little kids are weird.
Judgmental little shiatsu.
It's Montana, man. Everyone's
It's
judging.
everywhere.
Like, it's bad.
It's everywhere. I'm that weird tattoo and pierced mom, too.
See,
I
and
get the
it's
same thing.
And it's like,
No,
God,
you can't go
know?
play at their house. Have you seen their mom?
And it's so weird because, like, these kids,
Damn.
I grew up with their parents.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, it's super weird, and they're super, super judgy. There was one day when my son was actually being teased at school because I'd gotten arrested for selling weed in Montana at one point. We all kind of know about that. It sucked, but whatever. But one kid, like, said to my son, he goes, your mom is a drug dealer. And my son looks at him, and he's like, weed is not a drug, it's medicine, so fuck you. I'm like, right in the middle of class.
That.
And my son got in school suspension for a week. I was like, hey, dude, like, stand up for your beliefs,
said,
man. Like,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely.
My son's like, dude, I have to take all these pills. Like, my son understands it. And, like, unfortunately in Montana, like, he can't, there's no hope for him to use cannabis there. And I would not ever push it on a kid if I didn't think it was appropriate. But my son is on Trileptal for seizures, which were caused by another medication that he was on for ADHD. So he was on, he took one drug, clonidine, to help him sleep at night because he would, like, literally sleep, like, 30 minutes a night and be, like, ready to go for the next day. And I'm like, dude, like, I haven't even made it to bed yet, and you're, like, wide awake again. What the fuck, man? Like, and so he was on this medication to help him sleep, and then, like, they had him on Ritalin for a while, and that wasn't working, so they changed him to a few different kinds. Well, whatever. One of them he had a really bad reaction to, and it started petit mal seizures, which are not, like, grand mals are the ones where you convulse. Petit mals are, like, the lights are on, nobody's home. Mm-hmm. He was having about 30 to 40 a day.
Wow.
Where he would just, like, blackout. And so he ended up going on Trileptal to stop the seizures, which is bad for the liver and stuff. And, like, my son's like, dude, I know these pills are bad for me. I know they make me sick. Like, he can't poop. He has to take medicine for that. Like, basically, this kid gets, like, a pile of pills and then some Miralax on top to keep everything regular. And it just really sucks. And he's done a lot of reading. He's 13 now. I've showed him a lot of different case studies and stuff, and like he understands that there are alternatives out there for him when he does get old enough to make those decisions for himself, or when he comes to Colorado. And then hopefully things will be a lot better. But I did, when he was here, I did try a little bit with like candies and stuff with him, and like we had him completely off of all the pharmaceuticals, and he was fine. But, of course, he went to live with my parents, and they're like, here, my mom works in the hospital. She's like, pills. Look, I get samples every month. Have more. And I'm like, fuck, what the hell, you know? Like, and that's always kind of been a battle with, like, me and my parents, is the whole pharmaceutical thing. Because, like, my mom is like, I swear to God, every month this woman is on a different blood pressure pill.
Right.
Like, I'm like, why do you keep taking different ones? Like, the other one doesn't have time to work. We got into a huge fight one time when I was up there visiting, to the point where I ended up going and staying in a motel for a couple of days because my daughter called and said that she was sick at school. So I take her to the doctor, and my mom, like, literally, like, her office is, like, 2 doors down from the freaking clinic. And I'm in the office. They do, you know, the throat swab because she had a sore throat. And they're like, you know, it might be strep, whatever. The rapid strep came back negative, so it was not strep throat. The doctor comes in and she says to my daughter, she goes, I believe that you have a virus, but I'm going to prescribe you an antibiotic just in case I'm wrong. And I looked at the doctor, so you're giving my daughter an antibiotic for a virus when we all know that antivirals are what cure a virus, but you don't need an antiviral for a cold. It's a cold. Let it run its course. And the doctor's like, she needs to take this antibiotic. And I said, she doesn't need to take this freaking antibiotic. And by this point, I'm like screaming at the doctor. And the doctor is like, I know what she needs. And I'm like, no, you don't. Like, you don't. And my mom comes storming in there. And she's like, what the fuck are you doing? And I was like, they're trying to give her an antibiotic for a virus. Like, this is stupid. This is why everyone's on antibiotics all the time. Because we keep giving antibiotics for things that we don't need them for, and they're becoming resistant. I worked as a nurse for 9 years. I saw so many cases of MRSA, which is resistant staphylococcus, VRSA, which is a vancomycin resistant. And, like, we just keep getting these worse and worse bacterias. Like, there was even hospital rooms while I was pregnant that they wouldn't allow me to go into, because people had been on so many antibiotics that they had these viruses that they couldn't stop anymore, or bacteria that they couldn't stop anymore. And I'm like, this is stupid.
What about having a cold and building antibodies?
Exactly, right? I had a friend that, like, would literally, like, clean her house every day with bleach. Her entire house. Like, she was neurotic about it. And then she wondered why when her kids went to public school, they got so sick.
Right, they get everything.
They have no antibodies against anything.
Yeah.
Anything at all. And she's like, what do you mean? And I'm like, you've killed everything that has ever come into your house, and your kids have never had the chance to fight it. They were in homeschool until, I believe the oldest was like 14 before they finally went to public school. And, like, they were sick every day. I was like, dude, like, I'm not coming and hanging out at your house. Your house is like a big old freaking bleach-smelling petri dish right now. Like, it's gross. Like, it's just crazy, you know? People don't get it. People absolutely don't get it, and it's so frustrating.
It is frustrating. And, like, the pills on top of pills on top of pills.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that children and old people, they do it all the time. Take
Exactly.
this, and then this for the side effects of this, and then this for the side effects of that, and pretty soon you can't remember what you started taking the medicine for.
Exactly, because the side effects are worse than what it started as. Like, they absolutely are. My mom, when they took Fen-Phen off the market, because she works in the clinic, she, like, knew that it was going off the market. She had her doctor, like, prescribe her, like, 18 months worth, and, like, went and got it all filled. I was like, this is destroying your heart. And, like, you just demanded, like, that you be able to take it for another year and a half, like, after they take it off the market. I was like, well, there's no logic behind that. She goes, but it works really good for weight loss. And I'm like, how about diet and exercise?
Right. How much weight are you going to lose when you're dead?
Exactly.
A whole lot.
A lot. Right? A lot. I'm like, what are you thinking? Like, why do you keep taking these pills? It's just insane. I had a friend whose mom recently went into the emergency room, and, like, the ambulance came and picked her up. They, like, opened the kitchen cupboard, and they're like, we don't know what pills she takes, But she takes some of these and, like, dumped an entire shelf into a bag. Like, the doctors thought that she was taking, like, lorazepam and Percocet and, like, blah, 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 and, like, 15 different things, like, together. Because they were all fairly current prescriptions.
Right.
And they were like, oh, well, she obviously, like, OD'd. And
But
they're
really,
like,
she just had a stockpile.
yeah, she just had a stockpile
Just in
of
case.
whatever. Like, come
Wow.
on. Like, you don't take Prozac and Lunesta together at the same time. Like, come on. Like, they were wondering why her heart rate, like, super dropped and her blood pressure, like, bottomed out. And I was like, well, because you're taking things that do that together and not throughout the day like you're supposed to.
Well, it kills me because you see all these medications that cure one thing, but it causes 13 other problems. It could possibly cause death, but, you know, you can lose weight.
You'll be comfortable until you die. Like, you know?
But it is. It's like leaky bowels and, you know, things like that. And I'm like, really?
That was always an
Oily
ongoing
stools.
joke. It was an ongoing joke with me and, like, my brother-in-law because we were, like, sitting there watching a movie one time and, like, we were kind of drunk, whatever, and, like, one of the side effects from this one drug was anal seepage. And I was like, what?
Isn't it worth it?
I was like, dude, have you been taking that? He, like, looks at me, he's like, no, have you? And I was like, nope, thank God. Like,
Yeah.
a good weight loss pill out there. I weighed about 250 pounds at one time, and I actually started taking Ally, which is an over-the-counter. It costs like $65 for a month of it, whatever. But it causes oily stool. It's, like, really bad. So I found a way around that. Like, if you're going to take the pills, you just don't eat greasy food. If you want to eat the greasy food, you don't take the pill. Like, so it was kind of this balance of, what am I going to eat today? Like, I'm going to eat a pack of bacon, so I'm not taking this today. Like,
But you know what? My doctor was on it before it was released as Ally, and that's what his daughter said. Is she said that if you eat greasy foods, you got to watch what you eat because if not, it can be disastrous.
well, and that's the thing with it. Is that, like, the thing about that was it actually, like, forced me to watch what I was eating. Like, it actually made
That's
me
the diet itself.
Right. I didn't even want to do the diet.
That is the diet.
I was like, exactly. The diet is you take these pills and you shit yourself if you don't want to do
then
that.
now
you
you won't
eat
do
it.
that again, will you?
It's like more of like a shock therapy. Like, you know what I mean? If you do this, you're going to get a shock. If you do this, you're going to crap your pants. And, like, at the time I was working in a nursing home, so, like, you didn't want to poop yourself while you were trying to lift somebody onto a toilet. Like, you know.
You just take some of their Depends, honey. Nobody would have known it was you or him.
Right, exactly.
It's all covered.
Exactly. I used to take care of this resident that, like, knew that he had a problem with eggs. Like, he could not eat eggs. He would sneak eggs from the other residents, and I'm like, dude, you ate eggs today, didn't you? No, I didn't. Dude, you're leaving a trail down the hall. Like, come on. Like, you ate the fucking eggs. Like, I hate you right now. God, if you're gonna do it, at least let me give you some Imodium first. Like, fuck, don't be all sneaky about it. I got drugs for that, okay? Like, it sucks. I actually got suspended from a hospital that I was working at because I had, as much as I hate pharmaceuticals, like, I believe that there's definitely a time and a place for it, and I worked in geriatrics for a while. And one of the residents that was there, he was very, very close. Like, every sign that he was close to going was there. And that was the first time in my 5 years that I'd worked with this resident that I ever met his family. They just came out of the woodworks like crazy. It was insane. And I was like, wow, who are you? I don't know you. Oh, you're his daughter. How good for you. I've not seen you in all these years that I've worked here. I've never even been able to get a hold of you on the phone. And they came into his room and, like, they're like, why is he sleeping so much? And I'm like, well, he's on morphine. Well, we don't want him to have that. We'd like to talk to him before he goes. And I'm like, well, he's in pain. If I take him off the morphine, he's going to be in more pain. And I don't feel that's right. So one day, I'd had enough. Like, the guy had gone, 3 days without his morphine. And I went in and gave it to him at the end of my shift. Well, his family told on me. I was suspended for 6 weeks without pay. that particular resident pretty much thought of me as his daughter. I was not allowed to see him again. I was not allowed to talk to the family. Like, I was removed from the wing at the hospital that I worked on, and I was put on a different wing. I was like, wow, this is fucked. Like, I don't understand people. And that was pretty much, like, the last, like, couple months that I worked in nursing. I was like, okay, I can't do this anymore. Like, families drive me crazy. Like,
selfish.
Very, very selfish. Well, come to find out, what they actually wanted was for him to sign his will and change it before he died.
But of course.
Because he had left everything else to another child. And I was like, wow, I fucking hate people. And I still have, like, after I quit working at the hospital, I had families, like, hit me up that actually pulled their family members out of the nursing home and were like, okay, you're going to come to my house and take care of my dad now? Because we don't want anyone else taking care of him. And so I ended up, for about a year and a half, I was actually going and taking care of people that I had previously taken care of in the nursing home. The nursing home was a little bit pissed off about it when residents started being pulled out, and I was going to their houses and taking care of them. But
they were a cash cow to them. It wasn't about their care.
It exactly is. Exactly what it is. Like, they worry when they have empty beds in a nursing home.
Well, that, and on the flip side, you have the nurses who could care less and are only there for a paycheck.
Exactly.
And aren't taking care of the relatives, and then the families really do care.
Exactly. Exactly. No, it's crazy. Like, there's so many different ends of the spectrum in a nursing home. Like, it's kind of, like, I told my mom one day, I was like, just be nice to me, because remember, I know which nursing homes are the good ones.
I know how to get you the morphine.
That's the rules. Like, treat your kids right. They are the ones that pick your nursing home in the end. So, like, if you don't want to be in a nursing home, treat everyone well, and they'll make sure you're taken care of. Like, I've told my kids that over and over again, too. Like, hey, like, you find a good nurse to take care of me, because, like,
I'd like him to be 6'3",
right?
Muscles.
Right, exactly. He needs to be able to lift me. That's the crazy thing is, like, I don't know, nursing homes are crazy, and it was one of the most rewarding jobs that I had, while being, like, the least rewarding job. Like, that person pulling your hair loves you because you're taking care of them. Like, right. They just don't understand what's going on and stuff, and it's crazy. Old nurses are, like, the worst to take care of, though. Like, because they know how they're supposed to be taken care of, and, like, they will kick your ass in a heartbeat. Like,
they'll take nothing less.
And they know what they can get away with. They really do. They really, really do. Sam, should we go to commercial? And then when we come back, we will talk about lube this time, I promise.
We'll get to where we're supposed to be.
We'll get where we're supposed to be.
The chocolatiers at Incredibles are dedicated to crafting the finest chocolate from high-quality ingredients to ensure the greatest possible medicated edibles in the world. Consistency and quality are top priority. Lab testing on each and every batch. Rick and Josh have been making non-medicated chocolates for years for such retail outlets as Whole Foods and Vitamin Cottage. Today, we are focused on crafting our award-winning medicated Incredible chocolate bars. We are professional bakers, and we believe food should be made from scratch. We guarantee your satisfaction. Have an incredible day.
iVita Wellness is committed to compassionate patient care while providing the highest quality medicine at an affordable price. At iVita Wellness, patients can get top shelf ounces for $150 every day. iVita Wellness also carries pharmaceutical grade pure CO2 oil. iVita Wellness is located in Uptown Denver on 1616 Pearl Street. Open 7 days a week from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. You can reach us at 303-952-9150 or our website at www.ivitawellness.com. iVita Wellness is Denver's Compassionate Care Center.
The law offices of Edson, Maiden, and Matz provide criminal defense, medical marijuana defense, and advice about setting up and running medical marijuana centers, optional premises cultivation operations, and infused product manufacturing businesses throughout Colorado. With offices in Denver and Aspen, we can offer assistance throughout the entire state of Colorado. Give us a call at 303-831-8188. That's 303-831-8188. Or visit us online at warrenedson.com.
Interested in the amazing benefits of CBD? Check out Dixie X Hemp CBD Wellness Products at www.dixiex.com. MedicalMarijuana.com.
Let's face it, rules and regulations are complicated, especially in the field of medical marijuana. Let Medical Marijuana 101 help you get through the compliance process. We can also explain to you your employment requirements, your employees, and your business. But our work doesn't stop there. Our experience in cultivation ranges from the design of grow rooms to the diagnosis and resolution of grow problems. Visit us at www.medicalmarijuana101.com or call 303-388-7706. That's 303-388-7706.
I'm Gary Johnson, and you're listening to iCannabis Radio, and I want to say, talk it up, Colorado.
Welcome back, everyone. This is SexPot Radio. Yep, it's Tuesday. It's April 2nd. I can't believe it's already April.
I know, right?
Oh, my God. Like, I'm not ready for this month. Like, this is, like, the busiest month for all of us. And, like, in the middle of it, I'm trying to get ready to go to Apo. And, like, I'm already there camping in my head.
You're there, like, all year.
I am. Like, I think we should have it, like, 4 times a year. Like, because I technically, like, I think of Apogea as, like, my reboot. Apogea is Colorado's Burning Man. Like, I think of that as my emotional and spiritual. I'm done with society. I'm going to go be with people that love everyone. And I'm going to reboot my system and start over. And I don't know, it seems like it takes longer to get to it every year. Like, the years keep getting longer but shorter. I don't know how this works. This year I'm super excited because we've always done a huge theme camp every year that we've gone there. Like, the first year we did a huge haunted house. We did the same haunted house here in Denver at Halloween, but we, like, set up, like, basically it's like an 80 by 40 haunted house in the middle of the woods.
Nice.
Super, super fun. It's a lot of work because we have to go up for, like, a week beforehand, set everything up. Like, there's 3 days of tear down afterwards. And I mean, we're talking, like, plywood, studs, tearing a house down pretty much, you know? And this year is the first year that we're not doing a theme camp, and we're not going to have, like, all this work. We're doing a slight theme camp. There's 3 of us. Jeremy, my good friend Kano, who has always headed the haunted house and all that stuff, and myself. And it's Camp Fuck Off. We all got a bunch of middle finger flags that we're going to wear around Apo as capes. And then Jeremy's like, so what are you going to do at Apo this year? And I was like, I signed up for 2 volunteer shifts. That guarantees that I can go a day early. So I get to go up on Tuesday this year instead of Wednesday. So I got my extra day. It goes all the way to Sunday.
Nice.
So I'm like, sweet. Guaranteed that. And he's like, well, what else are you going to do? I invited my friend Lauren, my friend Ariel, and my friend Jessie, and I'm going to have an all-girl tent. He's like, well, where am I going to sleep? In a different tent.
I don't know, wherever you want, I guess.
I have my own tent. It's the She-Woman Man-Hater Club. I've just decided that this year I'm going to relax. I'm going to have fun. Every year I've volunteered for so much stuff. And it's like, it's one of those events where you don't want to be like, you don't want to have to know what time it is. Either it's light out or it's dark out. But I do all these volunteer shifts and I have to know what time it is. I have to be on time for these things no matter what I may have consumed throughout the day. Like, and I have to be on time and be responsible for things. And so my volunteer shifts are actually the first day of Apogea. So I can get that all out of the way, get there a day early, and just have fun. Like, that's what it is for me. Like, that's my break from life. And I enjoy it very well. There's a few people that I kind of, like, wanted to invite. Apogea is a very clothing optional event. And there's really good friends that I like to party with, but I don't want to see them naked. And I don't really want them to see me naked. So I've decided not to invite those people. I don't know, it's just become a huge event here in Colorado, and it's just getting bigger and bigger every year. This year it's gone up from, I think there was 1,200 tickets last year. This year there's like 1,600.
Wow.
And it's up in Bailey, first weekend in June. So typically, usually cold time of year, but I don't know, last year was super warm. It was really, really warm. And tickets went on sale this year, middle of March, I believe. And they did like the first half. It was like the first 800 tickets. They sold out in a minute and a half.
Wow.
I got my ticket. I was like, oh, thank God. And then the second half actually went on sale on Saturday, the 31st. And I was making sure that I got tickets for a couple other people because you can only buy 2 tickets at a time.
Oh, wow.
So they like make it very, very hard to like get extra tickets. So I like, Jeremy hurries up. He gets online for me. 36 seconds. The second 800 tickets sold out.
So
and I was like,
any?
he got him. He got him. Like, my girls are coming with me. It's like, yay. I mean, it was just crazy. Like, it's this huge competition. And for a very loving community, there are a lot of hateful, hurt people out there right now. Like, I didn't get a ticket. I hate you. And I'm like, oh, want a hug? I got a ticket.
I'll let you see it.
I haven't even posted like on Facebook that I got a ticket because people are so hateful about it. If you got one, they're like accusing people of hoarding tickets. How do you hoard tickets?
When you can only get 2 at a time. And
you
they
have
sell
to
out in
have
30
like
seconds.
20 laptops set up and like hope they all refresh according to plan. And you have to be able to type in everyone's full name to buy the tickets. Like, come on. I can't do that. Like, I'm a fast typer, but I cannot do that. Like, I can do a lot of things, but not that. But yeah, dude, I'm just glad I get to go, and I'm ready. I'm ready. There's a lot of like fundraiser events that I consider them practice for Apple. You know, you got to test things out before you go up there. You don't want to go up there not knowing what's going on. Right? So we are going to talk about lube now.
That was a great segue.
I know, right? Difficult situations, you know, whatever.
Slick.
Yep. It's all slick. Slid right into that. So, yeah, we might need lube at Appo. You never know.
I'm guaranteeing you probably will.
I promise that there may be need for lube at Appo. And this particular lube that's sitting on the counter, if anyone gets sunburnt, we can help them out with that.
Some multi-purpose.
Aloe.
When they get sunburned in places they wouldn't normally see the sun.
Right, exactly. And there's a lot of those places that see the sun up there. Like, you know, it's all fun and games, but I've seen some things that I can never unsee up there in those mountains. And if you take the right things, you forget anyway.
Maybe that's why some people take those things so they can't forget. Those images.
All I know is, like, since it's a longer event this year, I'm taking a solar shower, okay? Like, I am going to have a shower in the middle of the mountains. Like, I don't care what else happens. Like, I know I can't have a blow dryer. I understand that. We do have a generator. It just can't power my blow dryer. I've already been told.
Only so many days you can go without a shower, though.
I know, man.
Baby wipes only go so far.
They do, and there's a lot of dirt up there. And, you know, lube gets sticky, so things are just going to get totally dirty if everyone uses a bunch of lube. So, you know. So, anyway, back on track. Lube. There's several different kinds out there. The basic reason that I want to talk about this on the show this week is I actually had a guest argue with me about lube last week.
Really?
Because she insisted that the glycerin in lube is sugar, and it will 100% cause a yeast infection, and
absolutely
I was
not.
so frustrated. I was like,
I bet.
You're so wrong.
Right?
I'm like, whose show is this?
I can tell you to shut up.
I did that to a guest one day. I had a girl in here that, like, I hadn't exactly asked her to come and do the show. She just kind of showed up with somebody else and kind of took over the show. And I looked at her and I was like, whose show is this? Did you want to take over? Like, I'd like to go home right now. I'm really tired. And she just, like, shut her mouth the rest of the show. The only beneficial thing she did was grab her boobs and jiggle them once. Unfortunately, we didn't catch it on camera.
The only thing she was good for that day, huh?
Yes. I was like, really? At least take your shirt off first. I'm going to start demanding that. If, like, people come in here that I don't invite, Okay, if guests bring their girlfriends that I don't invite, I'm going to demand that the girls have to take their shirt off at the door. Do you think I can get away with that? I think
you
I
would have
can.
been all for that, right, Teresa?
Probably.
I brought you along.
Well, you know, I just have to make sure who got to see that whole program.
Right, her mother-in-law's not allowed to watch.
No.
I have a glass blower who was on the show once, and like her mom watches the show every week and like tells her the things that offend her about it. And I'm like, then why is she watching it?
Well, you know how we had the whole Pope conversation last time. At like 2 a.m, I'm sitting there and I realized you'd posted it, and I'm like, oh snap! Take that off.
Oh
because she's like, God bless her. She's a super Catholic, and like she's kind of like your boyfriend's, but she's a little more opinionated, and that would have completely offended her and my silent father-in-law.
When Jeremy and I go to family events, it is my job to keep him away from his grandmother. Because one year he wanted to auction off Jesus wafers on eBay. I was like, dude, you can't do that. Just leave your grandma alone. She's old.
It's not going to be long now, sweetie. Just be patient.
He's like, I think it would be a good money-making venture, you know? Just sell some Jesus wafers the day after Christmas. I'm like, dude, stop it. Like, leave your grandma alone. His mom just looks at me. I told you to keep him away from her. I'm like,
you have one job.
He's a big kid. I already cook for him and stuff. Fuck. You keep him away.
Leisha. Get one of those kid leashes.
One of the little backpack, the monkey backpack one. Hey man, you got a monkey on your back. Come here. Those leashes are like the worst things ever. Like I saw a lady that had her kid in the store one day, and like the kid obviously wanted to like get away, and like, you know how you train a dog when they like pull on the leash and you pull back? This lady like pulled back. That kid like dropped on his ass hard. I was like, what the fuck?
Come sliding across the floor.
A leash is better than the hair pulling I got when I was a kid, though. They're like, come.
Right.
Like, I can't walk any faster. You're like 6'8". I'm 4 foot. Come on. Going as fast as I can. I've got short legs. So needless to say, I'm not into hair pulling now. I hate that shit. Like, if you want me to come, maybe come somehow else. Don't pull my fucking hair.
Pull my hair, it's over.
I love how this show just stays on track every time.
And so we were talking about lube.
So we were talking about lube, which is not for children.
That's right.
Yikes.
Unless they have a sunburn.
If they have a sunburn, which then, in that case, go ahead, lube up.
Should, however, put it in a different container. Ask my daughter.
Yeah. Like, dude, that's the best story, and I think Tim kind of needs to hear that one.
Okay.
I'm all right.
You gotta hear it.
We lived in Longmont, and I worked in Estes, and I was at work. And my daughter, who was 13 at the time, called me, and she said I burned my leg with some boiling water. So she couldn't find the aloe gel in the refrigerator. I said, go in Mommy's bag and pull out something. It's orange. And I knew when she found it because she went, oh, gross, Mom. I said, put it on your burn. Don't look at it. Just put it on there. And she did. And it worked just like the aloe from the fridge. And it left almost no scars. So it's a great, great product.
And it's a great conversation piece if you leave it in the fridge.
Right?
Holy cow.
Some people empty it and use it as suntan lotion storing, and they take it to the beach.
Nice.
True story.
Good conversation.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a good conversation starter. It'll work well if you take it up to
Right?
festival.
I'll take it up to ABBA. I'll take about 10 tubes of that up there. Right? Dude, they always have like this little, there's like a little if you need it kind of booth, you know, like chapstick, sunblock, mosquito spray, like anything that you could possibly need when you're in the middle of the woods and you don't have it in your own tent. Like, you can just go there, spray sunblock on yourself, walk off, you know, whatever. I think that this would be a great donation to the cause.
Put your name right on the side and a
Right?
contact phone number
Exactly,
if they love
Right?
it.
Business cards next
I mean,
to it.
there's like a big container of condoms, you know, just a little of everything.
Set it
you know?
right there, yeah.
Exactly, you see?
Little plastic
There
cups
you
they
go.
can
Great
take
ideas. I feel like I could help everyone at Appo this year to fully enjoy the experience. Really? Yes.
Really?
Hey, I like to make everybody happy.
Hey,
I like
fantastic.
to live. I like to live vicariously through other people's sexual pleasure. That's why I watch porn. Voyeurism? Yes.
Right. And what better way to sample out the products than
Exactly.
right there where they're needed?
Exactly.
I like it.
Exactly. Little Molly, a little lube, whatever. Whatever floats your boat.
Are you still glad you joined us?
Yep.
Tim
times.
has known me for a very long time. He knew me before I even moved here. So I think he was somewhat prepared.
Somewhat.
Ish.
Yeah.
I even was his roommate for a while.
And he still stutters.
Right?
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
It happens. It happens. There's some people that are just happy to not be my roommate anymore. Just kidding.
Never said that.
Interesting situation, to say the least. It's all good. Anyway.
So the aloe lube is good for sunburn.
Yes, aloe lube is great for sunburn.
What else should we know about lubes?
We should know that you should not use silicone lube with silicone toys. Or
Why
you
not?
end up with a horrid silicone reaction.
Holy cow.
Did you know?
Good.
What
Did
happens?
you know this? It actually melts.
What? Damn.
Silicone lube will cause silicone to melt. Silicone
You don't
lube
want
is
that.
good for 2 things. Beating off and anal.
Water play.
And water play.
And water play, yes.
Because it's
yes.
not water soluble.
Yes.
But even silicone toys, if you let them touch each other, they'll melt together.
Holy
And
cow.
you get this weird silicone goo.
It's kind of like hot bubble gum in the sun.
Yes, not
It's
nearly
just-
as much
yeah.
fun as the toys independently.
Yeah. Yeah, melted toys are not fun.
No, I wouldn't think they would
You
be
know,
fun.
I can only imagine the friction and the silicone and the other silicone just.
It's a whole experience I'm not ready to have. So.
I know.
Yeah, that
We
doesn't
should
sound
find
fun.
somebody ready to have that experience
Have the first-hand account of the trauma.
and
We're
use
just not
it
gonna
as a
tell ya.
warning commercial.
How many times do people probably make that mistake, though?
Do not mix silicone.
Once.
Yeah, probably once, but
One
that's probably
time.
a lot. I mean, how many people probably make that mistake?
Right? Well, it's kind of like questioning why there needs to be warning labels on certain things.
I didn't know that
like,
necessarily.
Well, that's part of our job.
Probably
That's
should have
part
known
of-
that.
Part of why we do what we do. We go out and we educate women and we educate people
Right.
on things that they might not otherwise know.
Fantastic to know.
Silicone A and silicone B do not mix.
I think, yeah, water lube's better anyway. Water-based lubricant. At least I like water-based.
Silicone lubricant is better for solo play than water-based.
It's all sticky, isn't it, though? It's like,
No.
Some of them-
Silicone is
Some
the
of
one
them
that
are.
stays pretty.
yeah.
Water-based lubricant tends to get more sticky, but if you have a spray bottle
Really?
of water, you can solve that
I'm
problem.
say, do
Okay.
you know why?
Not very experienced with the lube.
What is it that makes
The
it
water-based lubricant, your body is made mostly of water, so your body absorbs,
absorbs the water.
water
Oh, I
out
see
of
what
it,
you're
and
saying.
it just leaves the sticky part.
Goo.
But yeah,
Oh,
a spray
alright,
bottle of
alright.
water revitalizes it, and it's like
Yeah, I don't
you
want
just
any
put it on.
stickiness and
Now, if you
something that
use,
doesn't last very long at all.
I think last time I showed you the Revelation lubricant,
Mhm.
which even once the water is absorbed by your body, it still doesn't leave that sticky film. It's very nice, high quality.
Here, I just thought of Dick Black playing with Gigi and that bottle of lube last time we were here.
Oh
He's
my
like trying
goodness.
to shove the bottle of lube into Gigi, which is a pleasure toy. And he wouldn't put any lube on it, so they put lube on it, and Dick shoved it through Gigi, and out the end came a big glob of lube and just went.
Well, and then he slid it towards the end, and
Whoa.
it popped up to the ceiling.
It was awesome. It was awesome. The thing
He's looking for
I don't know if I even want to know what's going on in this room, man. What has gone on in this room? I don't need to know any of that.
Porn's past.
that sexual aura hanging around.
Yikes. Actually, I might need to bottle some of that, so. Been a minute.
I gotta say, since we've moved to the new studio and I'm not gonna name names or anything, but a former producer that used to work here. Oh my God. We should have just gave him some lube, dude. Like, I walked in on some weird situations, like, where there was pictures of not only myself, but a couple of my friends hanging up in the studio. And I, like, went to grab a bottle of lotion that was sitting on the desk.
Oh.
Oh, no.
I've never screamed so loud in my life. I was like, what the fuck? And he, like, just looks at me. I was like, dude, don't leave your fucking lotion on the desk. And I, like, look around, and I was like, oh, shit. Oh, shit, all these pictures? What? I was like, oh, my God. No wonder this room smells like BO and dirty balls. Like, it was so bad. I think we threw the chair away when he left.
Oh, my God.
Sam's thinking, yes, I hope you threw that chair away.
We did. It didn't even come with the studio. Like, it went away. Like, I tried, like, 8 gallons of Febreze, and, like, it just wouldn't go away. Like, there was no hope. It was a lost cause. It was sad. It was really bad. Like, certain friends of mine or former friends have, like, asked me to set them up with people, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't do that. I can't do that to another human being.
It's okay, we all have friends like that.
I feel bad. Like, I really try. But anyway, water-based lubricants. Just start leaving lube samples in the studio. I was accused of trying to kill a coworker because I left condoms in the condiment drawer at work one day, and I was like, she's like, I'm allergic to latex. Were you trying to kill me? I'm like, no, I'm trying to protect you.
Were you using them as gloves? What was going on?
Well, I just felt, so many people, were kind of flirty with each other, so I just thought I would leave some condoms next to the ketchup and stuff, just in case. I believe in protection.
I think it's very sweet.
I know, see? I love many sizes, shapes, flavors.
She was very thoughtful in that process.
It was a variety pack. I'm like, what would I enjoy? Okay, I have a gallon Ziploc bag full now. Here you go. Enjoy. Not trying to kill anyone.
She said I wasn't trying to kill you. I was trying to protect you from being killed.
Exactly, see? But apparently, like, she goes into anaphylactic shock and stuff.
And then your fun's over.
I know. Fun's completely over when that happens, unless you're into that.
Just bring an EpiPen. We'll provide you.
It's all good. I got a couple in my purse. We're good. Oh my God. So water-based lubricants. Some do contain glycerin, but it is not sugar, people.
Right. Because you never want sugar down there.
Exactly.
Sugar down there will cause horrible
issues. You will have yeast infections.
Right.
And
no chocolate sugar, no strawberry syrup, no maraschino cherries.
No honey. Yeah. Honey's just
frosting.
A mess either way.
Right.
Yes, no sugar.
Yeah, so even the, we have really, really yummy flavored lubricants. Mm-hmm. It comes in like strawberry, pear.
Vanilla.
And those don't even contain sugar. They're sweet, but they do not contain sugar.
Yeah, they are. Actually, I have the strawberry one. It does taste good. Do not use it if you have cotton mouth.
Okay.
It does not work. You just kind of end up with some gooey. And you're like, oh.
It is water-based, though. Did you try the spray bottle?
A drink of water helps. She's
like...
I'm a little bit parched.
Wow. It's all gravy.
The hard part about this show is to talk about personal experiences without giving away too much of the personal experience. I was reminded this morning to not mention some things when I did a show about lube, so I'm like trying to remember what I can say.
There's so many segues, isn't there? Like off to.
Oh my God. What did I do with
treading
that?
treading on thin ground here, or thin ice.
It's hard, and I know he'll listen later. So like,
Did you look at him and say, then what am I supposed to talk about?
I know,
What are
like,
my good stuff?
it's the things that I know. Like, it's, for God's sake. Oh my Lord, poor guy. Like, I really try not to like give away too much, because sometimes I get a lot of messages afterwards, and yeah. Task Rock posted something. I gotta read it. It was about how men like get all. How did he word that? Dude, it was totally funny because like he totally set it up. Like, shit. Forgive me, I'm trying to hurry and find this. It was like Friday. Oh my God, some people post too much. Okay, so it was something about how guys get all thirsty for girls on Facebook. And like, God, I can't remember how he worded it. But can't find it either. He's like, I find it kind of funny how guys get all thirsty over girls on Facebook. And then he goes, so ladies, if you'd like to discuss this further, send me a private message. So like, basically he was just trying to get girls to message him on Facebook. And I'm like, dude, really? Come on. Like, I was like, perfect setup there, man. Perfect setup.
Right.
I see you're smooth, man. Like, not really.
Smooth or sneaky?
Sneaky, slick.
Which brings us back to
lube. Yep. So what are some other important things that people should know about lube?
You know, a lot of ladies say, "Oh, I have my own natural lubrication." It's not the same.
No.
It is absolutely not the same. And it doesn't matter how much you have. It's way, way better when you add a lube. What is it? Your little tagline.
Oh, which one?
The lube tagline.
I talk a lot about lube and its importance merely because the fact of the matter is when you think you've had a really wonderful night of sex because you're a little sore because you're like, oh, I had great reps. No, you have micro tears in your vagina.
Exactly.
It is not healthy. And your own personal lube can dry out. And that's what happens a lot of times. So it's really good to add that in as well.
Right.
And I tell everybody, and I know I shouldn't brand toss here, but a lot of those over-the-counter lubes that you get at the store, they're medical grade. So unless your partner's a gynecologist and going in for an exam, really, it's a one in and it's a one out. So those dry up really quick as well. So it's very important that you're educated about your lube. You're going to ask a question.
That makes sense.
So if it's dry
from experience, I mean, the KY jelly and all that is just crap.
Said it,
I don't like
me.
it. I don't like it. I wouldn't use it personally. I wouldn't use it
It's
with
because
someone else.
you can find it in your doctor's office.
Unless it was in a pinch.
I was desperate.
Sometimes. Yeah.
Sometimes it's the only thing laying around. Like I said before, I worked in a hospital. Like, dude, I use a lot of KY because like we had like the little pouches of it. I was like, fucking bring a bunch of those home. Or the big tubes.
Just keep that continual flow going. For when it dries out.
Right. It's amazing how many different sizes they like ship it in though. Like
KY jet. Yeah, some guy bought like a 55-gallon drum of it. I think he worked for a strip club or something though.
I was just gonna say the only thing that would be good for is like lube-based mud wrestling.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
Not that he knew a lot of strip. Yeah, anyway. Lube-based wrestling.
Yes.
Not that he would need a 55-gallon drum because he was dating all the strippers in the stripper club or anything like that.
I'm not insinuating that he was, active.
That would be crazy, though, if you had a 55-gallon drum. Just dump it into
a pool.
Dump it into like a pool and like have a slide off the top of a house. That's what it's good. That's what you're saying.
So
that's the only thing it's
dangerous.
good for.
That's what it is good
That's
for.
all it's good for.
That's all it's good for, yeah.
That's it.
All right.
And gynecological exams.
That's right.
I mean, now that you do mention lube, I mean, it makes a incredibly funner experience.
Funner. I think
Yeah.
it's funner too.
Funner, and the end process is so much better because
Absolutely.
micro tears suck.
Oh yeah,
They suck bad.
I'm sure they do. I
Well,
mean,
absolutely, and then it leads to more infection and more,
Issues
and
then,
and then it's longer between the times that you can have sex, and nobody wants that.
exactly.
Use a good lube, you can have sex all the time.
Dude, I had somebody hit me up yesterday.
you'd have to find somebody first, and it's
Or for solo play.
Solo
Failing
play.
at that.
Play.
Yeah, because
think
have you
it's
ever
boring
tried?
after a while.
Have you ever tried that without lube? Yeah, without any kind of lube.
You know, I've never been into lube that much. You know, it's never been something that necessarily. Yeah,
I recommend it.
it's fun.
But everybody, even the lotions, men use lotions a lot. Well,
Still
you're
lubricants.
you're at risk for infection because of the dyes and the perfumes in it. So you're
So
asking
just-
for trouble.
Haven't used any slippery substance too much, I guess.
Just a shower,
Shower.
Water.
water.
We don't want to get too far into this. Okay? we were talking about this. We were talking about this whole explaining the personal experience thing. We don't want to go overboard.
But you are the voice of expertise here.
I know. I mean,
We don't have one
I've
of
talked.
those.
I mean, I've heard dudes say that. I mean, I just have never really used anything like that.
Well, you can always go with
Too
my
much.
friend says. We use that one a lot.
I probably should have.
Right.
Not saying that I've ever damaged anything, but
But it's good to get the
there
feedback.
was this one time where this girl kind of. Anyway,
Oh, don't
lube,
stop.
Where your friend
lube
says.
would have been nice at that
Stop.
point in time. No, I mean, I'm saying if friction can be a bad thing
Yes.
if you're getting pleasured.
Absolutely. And also, when a girl's performing oral, one of the yummy flavored lubricants makes it even more amazing.
But what girl is? I've never had. I mean, I've never been in that position, or I've never even probably felt comfortable to where it's like, okay, lube and a blowjob at the same time doesn't really. I would be like, whoa! If I was going down on a girl, and I mean,
Okay, see, I guess that's my biggest thing is, like, I feel like if you're sexually active with anyone, you should be comfortable with anything.
well, that's fine, but like, I'm just figuring it doesn't
And you should
taste
know where
very
the
good,
door
or
is at.
it like?
Oh, no.
You should know where the door is at. No, I'm saying
Actually-
it doesn't be like weird in your mouth, Like I wouldn't.
No, actually, if you have a
Wouldn't enjoy
good
that.
flavored lubricant,
Yeah.
they're absolutely yummy.
Really?
We have, Oh yeah, and we have flavored warming lubricants too that are
Yes.
absolutely phenomenal.
Damn.
But think of it, you have flavored condoms. Well,
I know,
means
but I was like,
right.
that's a situation where I would never ever expect that in that situation either.
Well,
'Cause it just
she
would
has
be
a
a
sore
weird.
in her mouth. Why
That is,
wouldn't
but
you?
I mean, but I'm
For
not that
flavored
promiscuous. I guess. I mean, I've always. I mean, I've had the same girlfriend for long periods of time, and
So then you should be fully comfortable.
I am
Being like,
fully
hey,
comfortable.
here's
But
some
I've never.
flavored
I mean,
lube.
I've never had a blowjob with a condom. I would never expect a girl to do that. It just would be. I'd just rather almost never not have it. It's like.
Right, but if it makes it more enjoyable for her, and then you're getting that enjoyment as well, it's a win-win situation.
But would she enjoy giving a
Flavored?
blowjob with a condom
Flavored?
though?
Oh, I don't know about the
No,
condom.
not the condom.
Maybe the lube,
But with
but
the
I could see
flavored
that.
lubricant, yeah, that's
Really?
that makes it makes it much more fun
damn.
for her. I promise.
Yes.
I need to listen more closely to this show for more.
See,
on.
and you missed.
Maybe that's why I don't have.
We did the whole presentation. You could have learned so many new things.
Maybe that's why I don't have a girl right now. I could probably name plenty of other reasons, but
But that's one.
But that's the one
Yeah.
right there.
we may have had a rough year last year that didn't impress too many people.
Yeah.
But I'm
like-
going to impress them with the lube now that I have my knowledge.
See.
That sounded creepy.
Foreplay is the key.
May have been the creepiest thing I ever said in my entire
Tim
life.
pulls out a six-piece variety pack of lube. Which would you
use?
prefer?
What do you want to start with? Water or silicone?
Hey, if you knew somebody well, you'd be like, hey, check this out.
Absolutely.
That's the crazy thing about, like, you come to my house, like, dude. Okay, so, like, I have a lot of little side jobs that I'm doing right now because of losing my main job and, like, whatever. I do a lot of art. I'm selling butane because there's a lot of people making hash, which requires butane to make. So I'm on the outer edges of the industry.
It is hard to find butane a lot.
Yeah, and I got a good hookup. So, like, I tend to get about a pallet a week.
I wish I had enough
butane.
material to blast butane.
Right.
You make hash oil with butane.
But
if anybody didn't know.
yes. Okay. So, like, in all the weird things that I'm doing, and, like, I'm very comfortable in my own home, and, like, I'm one of those people that as soon as I walk in the front door, like, I take my clothes off. So I had somebody come over to pick up butane at my house the other day. And, like, I've been staying in the mountains for a few days. Well, no, I've been staying in the mountains for a few days, and nobody cleans up after me. Like... So I, like, get to my house, and, like, this guy is, like, pulling into the parking lot, like, right behind me. So my Passion Parties bag is wide open. There are sex toys everywhere. My bras, my underwear. There's lube on my desk. There's paint. I was like, oh, fuck. I'm like...
You're going to have to wait outside.
And, like, no, like, I'm totally, like... He knocks on the door, and, like, he's standing outside the door when I open it. I'm like, dude, I'm not carrying this butane. You can come right on in. Like,
damn.
Like, throwing clothes off the top of the box. I'm like, here. That'll be $400. Thanks.
Damn. That's a story.
Like, this poor guy, like, first time he's ever met me.
He gets back to the lab, and he's like, dude, you will not believe what I just saw.
We need to order 10 more cases.
That's the whole thing is,
no,
like...
everybody comes back lining up at the door.
Somebody that I've known for a while and have talked to, like, several times works for this guy. And he was the one that was supposed to come and pick the butane up. And he, like, messages me when I'm only a couple of minutes from my house. And he's like, I'm at the junkyard. My boss has to come pick it up.
Oh.
And I'm like...
Better.
Oh. Okay.
You know what? You just made a customer for life. You have no
totally.
idea what kind of
Like,
spank bank material
he came
you
back,
just gave him.
He came back like 2 days later and got more.
He's like, what are we going to see today?
I know.
Wait till you get the swing.
I'm like, yesterday, I'm like, usually I wear a lot of dresses when it's warm out. But I usually throw on a pair of bike shorts underneath because I never know, like, what situations I might get myself into throughout the day. Like, I might get a call in the middle of the day and I got to go pick up, like, 10 cases of butane. Like, so I could be carrying these things. So I wear shorts usually under my dress. So yesterday, he's coming to my house to pick up butane and I have a case in my car. I'm, like, frantically, like, going through the house. He calls, and I'm in the shower. I'm like, okay, well, how far away are you? He's like, oh, I'm downtown. I was like, okay, that gives me, like, 20 minutes, whatever. So I throw on my dress, and I, like, throw on some panties, and I'm, like, frantically, like, searching my house for this pair of shorts. Knock, knock, knock. I'm like, fuck. Seriously? Like, you're already here? So I answer the door. I'm like, dude, I gotta just grab some shoes. Like, go outside. I, like, didn't realize how far I have my little bug and, like, the seats folded down and, like, the whole fucking case of butane's, like, up at the front in the back of the car. And I was like, shit. I just, like, crawled in. I was like, here you go, ass shot for you today. Like, happy birthday. Yeah. So, yeah, like, it's amazing the situations you can catch me in. And Jeremy's like, did you find your shorts? And I was like, nah.
That's $50 more.
That'll be $50 more. Thank you very much.
And what's he going to be expecting the next time?
I know.
It gets pricier every time it comes, just in case.
I think I'll be delivering from now on. It's like, oh my God. You know, there's been some people that have joked that I should just have a cameraman, like, follow me around town some days. Because, like, I do end up in, like, some of the weirdest freaking places, like, doing some of the weirdest shit. Like, they're like, what'd you do today? Well, this
You
is
wouldn't
what
believe
I
if I told you.
Right? I'm like, dude, like, people message me and they're like, hey, you want to hang out? Well, actually, right now, I'm, like, up to my elbows in mud and, I don't know what else I'm doing. And lube. It makes great mud. And it's just, like, people are like, seriously, like, if you don't want to hang out with me, like, just say so. And I'm like, no, seriously, like, this is what I'm doing right now. Like, exactly. Exactly. Like, you never know. You just never really know. Like,
keeps life interesting, though.
It does. It does. It's, like, kind of, it's become this situation where, like, since I've lost my job, I'm busier than I ever was before. And I'm like,
Right.
How the fuck did this happen? Like, I was going to go spend 10 days in the mountains. I was not going to come out of the mountains. I was just going to hang out. It was going to be peaceful, just me and myself and some lube.
And that's why Lilo's in your bag.
Exactly. I haven't finished unpacking. There's other things in my bag, too. It's always awkward when you're walking through a store and your purse starts to vibrate, though.
It has a lock on it.
Oh, yeah. I was going to ask about that. I forgot about that.
The plus and minus button, hold them down and it'll blink.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
So that when you increase the speed or decrease the speed, hold those two at the same time. And it will lock up and you'll see it flash. And then when you go to turn it back on, same thing, it will flash. So you should never, if you take that on the airplane, you will never have that problem.
Sweet.
What is it was my phone. Oh, this is my phone.
It's just my
Don't worry about it. It'll stop ringing.
I'm the kind of person that would just
Maybe.
like pull it out though and be like,
Probably.
oh, sorry.
Sorry.
You should really get one of these.
It's a great way to start a conversation.
Right? I had a guy that was like, I get a lot of messages from guys and girls, but guys are a little more bold about things. Girls tend to, for lack of a better word, pussyfoot around it. But guys will like hit me up and like be like, oh, I'm bored with my girlfriend, blah blah blah. Hey, you want to hang out? And I'm like, you know what? You should really get this for your girlfriend, and I guarantee it won't be so boring anymore. And like, it catches people off guard. I'm like, did I just get shot down or encouraged? Both. Both. Absolutely both. I've even had one guy that told me, I was like, dude, I don't think your girlfriend likes me. Like, I'm not going to come hang out with you guys. 'Cause, like, I'm pretty sure I get the death stare, okay? And he's like, oh, no, like, she likes you. And I'm like, dude, I know the look. I created the look. I know the look. And he's like, no, she would just rather that you join us instead of just flirting with me. And I'm like, no, like, that's awkward for all of us now because I don't really like her. I was just making excuses. Just trying to put it on her. And we were talking about the whole Task Rock thing with him, like, trying to turn it around and get girls to message him. And I, like, just kind of, like, felt like posting on there, like, why do you have to make this post? Like, I thought everybody got the messages that I get every day. Like, I have a whole spank bank full on my computer. And it doesn't matter which direction I want to go for the day.
Damn.
Like, I like to encourage people. In a positive way. Maybe I'm just a pervert. I don't know. But I have a few friends that, like, were very, very close-minded, very, very shy. Kind of, like, very closed-off people that have recently started sending me pictures, and they're like, do you think this is sexy? Yes, you should do more of that and some of this, and then send me some more pictures. And then I'll let you know if you're doing okay.
Jeez. That's awesome. That's cool. Cool with that.
I'm like, I'm in the mountains for 10 days. Want to come join me?
Oh. Hey.
You have to stay on the outskirts of the party, but
I'll find you a babysitter. A lot of my friends have kids, and I'm like, I will totally help you find a babysitter if you want to go hang out. Like, I'm not above that. I feel, I've seen a lot of people talking about how it makes you an unfit parent to hire or to, like, drop your kids off with their grandparents every weekend so that you can go out and party. That going out and partying and that free time away from your children keeps you from killing them.
Absolutely.
Every person needs that. You are not a perfect parent because you spend 24 hours a day with your kids at their every beck and call. It makes you psychotic. Like, dude, you will have a breakdown before they turn 15. Like, and then they're going to make you do it all over again.
On a daily basis.
Exactly. Oh, my God. I'm like, I've just seen a lot of really, really judgmental parents, and I like kind of think, how unhappy can you be in your own life that you're pissed off for people going out and having fun?
Right. Or even better, the people that don't have kids.
Right.
That know exactly how to raise them.
Oh, no kidding, right? Dude. Oh, my God.
I'm like, you just opened that whole...
Okay, so when I first moved here, I moved here with my 4 kids. I moved here, literally, like, took 15 minutes to pack a week's worth of stuff. I'm like, okay, we're out. We're moving away. My kids are like, are we going to Grandpa and Grandma's? And I'm like, no, we're not going to Grandpa and Grandma's because shit just doesn't work out there either. And so we came here, and we were here for several months, and my ex-husband showed up here, and I hit panic mode. I completely freaked out. I called my parents. I'm like, I don't know what to do. I obviously can't keep myself safe, much less them. There's a 10-year restraining order against my ex-husband. Mm-hmm. It's there for a reason. So my parents came here. The whole goal was for my kids to just go there for the summer. Hopefully things would blow over. He would die. I don't know. Like, right. We can all hope and dream. No, I'm kidding. Not really saying that, universe, don't do that. He's still a father, even though he sucks. And he's never around. But anyway, he doesn't even pay child support. But that's beside the point. I had hit that panic mode, and, like, I got a job while they were gone. I was going to move back here. I lost my job. I was like, shit. And then all of a sudden, I'm, like, getting messages from people. I can't believe your kids aren't here. Why aren't your kids here? Like, why would you send them to live with your parents? Like, that's just stupid. Like, you're a parent. Take care of them. Step up to the plate. And I'm like,
just say, come be me.
Really? Just try one day. One day, walk in my shoes. And just try it. Like, if somebody out there judges a parent because they're not with their children at the time, try giving your kids up for 1 month. Just try 1 month living Absolutely. 12 hours away from them. It is a whole different ballgame. It is a whole different amount of stress, anxiety. They fall down and get hurt. You're not there. So it's really hard, and like, there's a lot of people that just really don't understand that. And then when I got busted for selling pot in Montana, the entire point of that trip was, it was a quick money-making trip. It was fucking stupid. It was the stupidest thing that I ever did. A couple of my friends even told me, don't do it. I did it anyway. That trip, they were supposed to come back with me. Mm. Holy fuck, I've never
Ouch.
cried on my show.
Take a deep breath.
That trip, I was supposed to make enough money for them to come back here and live. And it fucked me every which way. And so many people, like, judged me. They said to me, oh, you were just up there dealing drugs. No, I wasn't. I went up there with hope.
You're okay?
Oh my God.
So much for not getting personal, huh?
So yeah. Sometimes I get really personal. But yeah, like, you know, there's just so many people that were like, oh, I can't believe you did that. Like, what path did you go down to, like, make that decision and to do something like that? Like, and to, like, take yourself away from your kids that way. That weekend, it was actually my brother-in-law that was supposed to buy that from me. It was a very, very large amount that I went up there with. And he backed out on it at the last minute. And because I had gotten it and went up there with no money at all, I panicked. And I started selling small amounts of it. And that's when I got set up. And it's really crazy because it's amazing how, like, 1 minute everything can be okay. And the next minute everything just turns around on you. And, like,
That's true.
I know that Tim's been through the same sort of situation, but luckily,
Rated.
and I say luckily, but not really lucky. There wasn't a kid there to watch.
Yeah.
Because
No, that
that
shit is
time-
stressful, man. It leave you with PTSD.
dude, totally. My son was 10 years old at the time, and he walked out the door as 8 cops came around the corner with guns at my head. And he just looked at me and he's like, "What happened?" And I was like, "Dude, just go back in the house. Like, go back in the house. Go get grandma. Go get grandma." So yeah, it's just, I mean, we all deal with issues on different levels, and to like sit there and judge people because you don't understand their lives and you haven't been in their shoes and you haven't been in that situation, definitely need to take a look at ourselves when we look at other people and question why they're doing the things that they do.
Absolutely.
I mean, for real. Like,
But it just goes to show what depths you'll go for the love because you love your children.
Exactly.
And people look at it as a negative. And you know what? It is. You never know. And this goes on in our business. It goes on in life as a whole. We get mad because people don't show up. We get frustrated. I don't know what's going on in your life.
Right.
It is not my place to judge. And we can go down that whole religious aspect. I just had this with a friend. She was like, people are judging me because I'm supporting gay marriage, et cetera, et cetera. And I said, you know what? Thank God it's not impressed so-and-so day. You'd be fucked.
Dude, right?
The bottom line
like
is,
that.
bottom line is that you walk every day with yourself, and if you have that belief in God, which I know that they vary here, but the whole point is you know what you do every day. If you are a God-fearing person, He created you. He knows what you go through every day. He creates your challenges, and you know what? He knows how you're going to deal with them and how you're going to strive through them. And you're going to, if you get something at the end of the day, consider yourself lucky if you get a lesson out of it. But you're that better person. And my job here on earth is not to please everybody, but I will not compromise anymore myself, my beliefs, to appease somebody else, because then I am not living for myself and my family.
There's nothing wrong with weed anyway. I agree fully with what you're saying.
Yeah,
I don't even see how anybody can really see anything's wrong with weed anyway. The situation, having your kids taken away, I mean, it should be a situation where you can't make money off of legitimate business with adults.
The cause and the reason behind it was your business, not everybody else's. So the judgmental people aren't worth your time.
Same goes for sex and everything else.
And sex, you're right. Everything.
Sex and everything else, man.
So, my family recently heard about this show. And my sister also found out that I was going to be doing the passion parties thing and all that stuff. So she hits my mom up like right away. And my mom is like, "So Jenny, like, I heard about like passion parties." She's like, "What is this? Like, your sister's telling me about it." My sister that ordered $900 worth of porn with my mom's credit card in high school is trying to rat me out. I'm like, you committed a felony with porn, okay?
I'm just starting a new career.
I'm just making money over here. And so my mom hits me up and she like asked me about it. And so I explained it to her in about 2 paragraphs. And then at the very bottom, and I was like, "And this is our very first sex talk." And she like comments back, she goes, "Actually it is." I was like, because like our entire sex talk as a child, like with my mom, was, "I'm bleeding, can you go buy me tampons?" And my mom was like, "Okay." And that was it. Like, that's the furthest our talk ever went. And then I was my grandparents came and like stayed with us for a week while my mom and dad were in New York for a lab convention for the hospital that my mom works at. And I had gotten super, super sick while she was gone. And I was like, I seriously thought I was dying. I had kidney stones. And I had a massive kidney infection. I was freaking out. My mom gets back to town. Like, I pick her up from the airport, and I am running a horrible fever. I'm just completely white. I'm like, "Mom, I'm sick. Like, you need to take me to the doctor." And she's like, "Why didn't you tell your grandpa and grandma?" I was like, Because I didn't want to worry them. Like, I didn't want my grandpa and grandma worried. They're old. Like,
Right.
And they had enough shit to deal with. Like, they were taking care of 3 girls, and like we were totally insane. And plus, I had moved my boyfriend into my parents' house like right before my parents went on vacation. So like, it was a totally weird situation. And get to the hospital. My mom takes me into the ER. They start doing tests. They're like, oh my God, like, you know, like kidney infection. Like, we need to send her to another hospital. We need to start her on these IV antibiotics, blah, blah, blah. My mom calls up from the lab because she's the one doing all my blood work. Don't start that IV. She's pregnant. And I was like, that was our whole talk. Like, my mom knew literally before I knew that I was pregnant with my first kid. And I was like, oh. And I was like, I looked at my mom, I was like, so what do we do now? She's like, now you have to tell your grandpa and grandma. Because I'm not doing it. And it was just crazy. Like, it's just kind of always been, like, this ongoing joke with, like, me and my mom. Like, we never ever talked about sex. And that's one thing that I do talk to my kids about a lot. Because I feel like they need to know. Like, there was a lot of things that I went through in childhood, like, freaking out about because I didn't know. And thankfully nowadays we have Google, but we didn't have internet on the farm, and Google's not always accurate. And
get a hold of Wikipedia, and there's a whole lot of false facts.
Right, exactly. Especially since people can go in there and change that
shit.
shit.
You can go put whatever you want.
Exactly. So, you know, I mean, I think it's super important to talk to your kids and explain to them. And like I said, it's always been this ongoing joke that my mom knew I was pregnant before I did. Like, only moments, but long enough that, you know, like, it was definitely, like, one of those things, like, my mom and I were never close when we were kids. And, in fact, like, my sisters were spoiled, and I wasn't. Like, I'm like, whatever, I'm my own person. You do what you gotta do. Sweet. You got 2 new kids. Like, you know, and, like, so we were never really close. But me getting pregnant at 17 actually brought me and my mom together. Like, before that, I had dropped out of high school. Like, I was out partying every night. I had 2 jobs only so I could party every night. Like, I was cleaning motel rooms and waiting tables because waiting tables gave me that everyday cash, and cleaning hotel rooms gave me that twice a month paycheck to pay my other shit. Like, I was determined that I could just move out and, like, be my own person, and I would be just fine. Dude, I lived with my parents till I was 19. I was like, okay, I have a baby now. Can we stay with you?
Right.
That would be great if I didn't have to buy groceries and stuff. Like,
my 5-year plan just changed.
Right? Yeah. I mean, my parents were really super understanding. Like, it was something that I was super freaked out about. Like, I was like, oh my God, I'm pregnant. Like, what? My parents are going to hate me. Like, I'm bringing another kid into this world, and, like, I can't even graduate high school. Like, I dropped out. So while I was pregnant, I actually ended up going back to school, finished school, stopped smoking cigarettes. Like, I started smoking cigarettes when I was 12. I quit when I was 17 because I got pregnant, and I knew I couldn't afford to smoke them anymore. I was like, yeah, I can't afford diapers. I can't afford cigarettes. Pick or choose. I was like, oh, I can use cloth diapers. That worked for 2 days.
I bet so.
2 days.
Those are great for burping, cleaning windows.
They make great burp rags. Great burp rags. Like, shit, use it as a coaster on the table. Like, everything but diapers. That's right. So, yeah, you know, I mean, it's just all about being understanding and, like, knowing that, like, my kids know I'm there for them. I got a message from my daughter one day, and she was 14 maybe, and she sent me a message, and she's like, Mom, would you ever disown me? Dude, I haven't even paid for you yet. But seriously, no, I would never disown you. Why? What's wrong? And she goes to me, I think I'm gay. Sweet. You're not going to have a baby in high school.
Right?
And she's like, oh, I didn't think you'd take it that way. And I was like, well, how did you want me to take it? And she goes, I don't know.
I'm going to shock you, Mom.
I know, right? She's like totally trying to shock me. And I'm like, dude, I made this game. Like, I invented this. Like, and so she's been kind of going back and forth, like, I'm gay, I'm not gay. She's decided now that she's bi and she has a boyfriend. And she went through this stint where, like, because she was super depressed, like, she felt like she needed somebody else to love. And she tried to get pregnant. And I was like, oh. She's like, but you were pregnant in high school, and look, you turned out just fine. Dude, I am not just fine. No, I'm not.
Define fine.
I mean, I don't think I even know the meaning of fine. Like, this is not fine. And she goes, oh, well, she goes, I really don't see what it would hurt to, like, have... Dude, you don't even think school is your job right now. Like, I don't think you understand. Like, she's at this age where she thinks everyone should give her money for just being her.
That is the whole generation.
Like, no. She's like, I had even hit her up before her birthday because I had found a car for a couple $100. And I was like, sweet, I know what's wrong with this car. I can fix this car. So I will buy you this car and you will be happy. And she's like, I want a fucking truck. And I was like, sweet, now you're not getting anything.
You just saved me money.
I was like, here's $20.
Happy birthday.
Yay. So she's a little mad at me right now. I was like, dude, I was going to buy you a car. Like, I had to buy my own car.
Right.
And it was a piece of crap. Like, I had a 1980 Ford Pinto. It burned more oil than gas. Like, I carried a case of gas, a case of oil in the back of the car. I would go, like, we lived 45 minutes from, like, anywhere to, like, actually party. Like, a real city. Population over 500. And, so I literally, like, would drive the 45 miles and put a quart of oil in the car. And then I would drive around and party and put oil in the car. And then I would have to remember to put oil in the car again later.
Did you have the smoke screen?
Yes.
Nice. It's the Bond Pinto.
It was really bad.
Damn.
It was really bad. And so, that poor car. Like,
I'd still probably take that car right now.
but I had so much pride in that car. Like, I took care of
bought
it.
it.
Like, it was the first car that I ever fixed by
It's just
myself.
nice to have a car.
It was the first car, right? I mean, like, my dad made me learn how to change the oil. Like, I had to know how to do everything. Not that changing the oil is important when you burn a quart every 45 miles. Like, you just need to refill. My sisters, though, on the other hand, like I said, they were very spoiled. They did not know how to pump gas until they moved out of my parents' house.
That's crazy.
Because
How
my
would you...
dad would, like, do it for them every day.
That's
like,
insane.
He would, like, just take it.
That's your dad's fault.
That's totally my parents' fault. Like,
That's bad.
I could change a tire. Like, I knew my way around the shop like nobody's business. Like, I would go out there. My dad thought I was a boy, I think.
I couldn't tell if
I'm
this
pretty
girl in
sure
high
he
school
didn't
was
know.
really plain, like, I don't know how to do this. Or not plain, but just really didn't know how to put gas in her car.
Right?
Or she just wanted me to come with her to get gas. I don't know. I'm pretty sure she didn't know how to get gas in her car. And I just couldn't believe it. It was like the first time I'd ever seen it. I was like, wow.
My daughter, she didn't get her license till the day before she graduated high school. And, like, she calls me.
Oh, yeah, you see that.
Mom, how do I get gas? And it didn't even dawn on me. She's never put gas in her car. She never had a car. I always drove. It was like, okay,
Like,
God, I feel a little dumb.
I'll make my kids get out. I'll make my kids get out and fill up gas tank.
I
Like,
think
here,
I-
one of you. I don't have any kids, but one of you go inside and pay.
But when?
I'm planning. One of you go inside and pay.
My
Yeah.
husband,
When I
think-
find some.
I've forgotten how to do it because my husband does it. You know, it saves me when it's like super cold. He's out again. Like, he's such a gentleman. He's awesome. But
Well, and you can
Nice.
know about that girl in high school if she does this past
Yeah,
her
yeah, I did.
eyelashes.
I was
while
trying
she's
to-
faking.
I was
Every
trying to
time.
figure it out.
That's the big hint as to whether she really could or really
I
couldn't.
know. I'm kind of an idiot with those things too. I think a lot of guys are.
I, in all honesty, like, don't think my dad knew I was a girl until I brought a baby home.
Damn.
Oh, look what I had. And he's like, oh.
where'd you get that? Where'd you pick that from?
just came out of this thing I have. Seriously,
Yeah,
like when I was a little kid, like my dad did rodeo and stuff, and like I always wore coveralls, and like he'd drag me to the rodeos with him. And,
You
like,
were the sonny one.
I was the son that he really wanted and never ever had. And like even when I go up there to visit now, he's like, okay, like I need to pull this transmission out of this, and I need to do this. So which one would you like to do? I'm like, doing my nails. oh, you're a girl. Like, man, come on. I just want a vacation without the work. Like, I even had a friend post recently on Facebook that his car was broke down, Dread.
Oh, yeah, Dread.
And I, like, hit him up. I'm like, dude, what's wrong with your car? Like, I can fix it. And, like, he didn't respond back. And I was like, seriously, dude, like, just tell me what's wrong with it and I can fix it for you. Like,
it's an ego crusher.
Totally. Like, the first time Jeremy's parents ever met me, I was at their house visiting, and, like, his CV axle had gone out on his car. And I'm, like, out under the car, like, cussing at the car, like, pulling the axle out. And they walked in, and he's inside hanging out, doing whatever. And they're like, where'd you meet her? And he's like, just some girl, like
just some girl.
And they're like, you should keep her. Like out there covered in grease, like I got this. And I fixed several.
I think
of their
Jeremy
cars.
knows a lot about cars.
I've helped. Jeremy knows quite a bit about
Does he?
cars. Yeah, he used to
okay.
work auto body and stuff.
I don't know
but
quite a bit
yeah,
about cars. I don't know anything.
Like
I know how to
can
put gas
pretty
in the car. That's
It's
about
funny because like if your car breaks down, I probably can't tell you what part it is, but I can point to it and say that's the
broken.
part that needs to be replaced. And so, like, what I'll usually do is I'll take a picture of it and go into the auto parts store and be like, I need this part right here because this is what's wrong with the car. And they're like, well, what is that? And I was like, you're supposed to know. You're the one selling the parts. And, like, I'm the worst. I, like, going into the auto parts store, and I know their markup, okay? Like, I know their markup like the back of my hand, and I know that I'm not going to pay the price that they have on that part. I went in there to buy it when I was replacing the CV axle on Jeremy's car. They wanted $250 for the part that I needed. And I was like, I'm going to pay you $125 for this part. And they're like, no, it's $250. You're going to give me a military discount, a student discount, and the discount just because I'm me. Okay? And I'm going to walk out of here with this part for $125. And Jeremy's like, dude, it's only $250. I'm like, but no, it's not. And we walked out of there with the part for $120. I was like, yeah. He's like, I can't believe you just did that. Like, dude, my dad could, like, talk somebody down, haggle prices like nobody's business. And, like, I hung out with him every day as a kid. Like, I can haggle some prices. Like,
It's a good skill to have.
I even do that with buying glass now from like different glass blowers.
Oh, yeah, hell yeah.
I walked in one
Gotta do
day.
that.
I walked in there to buy extract tubes one day, and like I already knew like the price that a certain friend was getting the glass that they needed for. And I walk in there with a price list, and everything is like $5 cheaper. I'm like, okay, this is what I need, and this is what I'm gonna pay. And they're like, well, that's cheaper than so-and-so gets it. And I go, I'm not so-and-so. I was like, dude, if I have to go buy the tube, you'll make it for me for half that price. Because I know how much the tube costs you.
Right.
So, yeah, I kind of tend to get my way by being a little bold like that. It happens.
Awesome.
I try. So, yeah, if you need a good deal on something, let me know.
We hit you up on here. You need to come with me.
Exactly. We will figure it out. But anyway, it's already been 2 hours. 2 hours and 15 minutes.
No way.
It's hot in here.
It always gets hot in here, man. Just think of like
Let's not
5
think of-
dudes in here.
Oh, dang it.
Yo, why
Not in that
go
way.
there?
Not
Oh,
enough
it's like,
Febreze for
I'm
that.
like what it used to be. 5
5 dudes.
and a
That
lot of
may,
lube.
that may have happened in this room. That's not thinking about
Right?
baseball. Wait.
What the fuck?
Oh, we're not playing pitch and catch, damn it. Oh. All right. See, I made Jenny crack up.
Okay, so anyway, thanks everyone for joining us for SexPot Radio. It's been another great Tuesday. Of course, I would like to say, hey, I'm going to go have fun tonight. I hope you all are too. We have other shows in the studio. John Doe Radio every day from 11 to 1.
11 to 1.
11 to 1. So you can listen to that here on the Cannabis Radio Network. iDab Radio is going to be coming back soon. I hear a rumor. I don't know.
Really?
It was too cold for them in the winter. I was like, what the fuck? Like, this is a nice winter. Like, what the fuck, man? On Thursdays, we have the Hemp Connoisseur at 4 o'clock p.m. And then on Mondays, we have In the Lab with Jennifer at 3 o'clock p.m. and Georgia Edson at 7 o'clock p.m. So thanks for tuning in. Catch us every Tuesday from 6 o'clock till 8 o'clock. It's great having you all. Thank you guys for coming.
Thank you for having us.
Yes.
Dixie Elixirs, the patient's choice for alternative medical marijuana treatment, brings you Dixie Botanicals all-natural topical therapy, including massage oil, pain relief salve, and our newest product, Dixie Botanicals Pain Relief Lotion. This all-natural lotion pairs beautifully with Dixie Botanicals bath salt for a deeply relaxing experience with no psychotropic effect. Like us on Facebook, Dixie Elixirs, or join us at www.dixieelixirs.com.
The law offices of Edson, Maton, and Matz provide criminal defense, medical marijuana defense, and advice about setting up and running medical marijuana centers, optional premises cultivation operations, and infused product manufacturing businesses throughout Colorado. With offices in Denver and Aspen, we can offer assistance throughout the entire state of Colorado. Give us a call at 303-831-8188. That's 303-831-8188. Or visit us online at warrenedson.com.
Independent Records and Videos has been your locally owned and operated choice for music, movies, and lifestyle accessories since 1978. Independent Records and Videos has 7 locations from Denver to Colorado Springs to Pueblo to serve your entertainment needs. Whether it's vinyl, CDs, DVDs, books, smoking accessories, or hundreds of other fun and fanciful items, Independent is ready and waiting to make your dreams come true. We are always buying, selling, and trading vinyl, CDs, books, and DVDs, so sell yours and buy ours. Independent Records and Videos, your entertainment headquarters. Check us out at beindependent.com or on Facebook.